And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of ESL Open Cup Asia number 212. That's a lot of ESL Open Cups. Welcome, everyone. I'm, of course, your host, VIP, and I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat and these amazing players as well. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves, as we have quite a stacked bracket. A lot of really good matches are going to be going on, and I'm so very torn right now. I'm very torn because I believe this week we're currently the only English stream. So it's personally, I would typically like to avoid other streams and try to cover as much ground as we can, but alas, we are the only English stream, so I'll do my best. I'll do my best to you know, kind of follow these players and bring you as much StarCraft as I can here in this ESL Open Cup. And here we go. We have our first matchup. We have our PvP, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the red Protoss player representing himself, currently teamless. It is Party. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing the Kwangdong Freaks. It is Stats. Here we go. Our PvP is upon us. Now, to be transparent, of course, there's another PvP that's about to start, that is Hero versus Creator, and I was going to jump on Hero versus Creator first, but unfortunately, Creator is MIA. Hopefully he does show up. Hopefully he is able to compete and play out his series against Hero, but unfortunately he is still missing in action, and well, as opposed to waiting for a potential player, we had another series that did open up, and that is, of course, this one. A different PvP, a very different PvP on the lower half of the bracket. Again, !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. We will go over the brackets momentarily after we wrap up this best of 3. And here we go. Again, great to see these two players here once again. I do appreciate that Parting has been a little bit more active recently. He's been playing in KSLs every now and then. He's been playing in ESL Open Cup Asia and Americas every now and then as well. He has been popping up, and he hasn't been doing too poorly either. He has been having some pretty interesting upsets, to be honest. Some pretty interesting upsets. I think the biggest one was, I want to say last week in ESL Americas, he did take down Byun, which was crazy. Did fall to Clem. Actually, I think this was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, took down Byun, but fell to Clem. Likewise, has been having some middling success here in the Korean weeklies as well, and yeah, it's been really cool to see him return to the game and return to form. I'm still yet to really pin how consistent his play is. It's still a little bit up in the air, like when it comes to how he rises and how he falls, but you know, it's really cool to see him return. Likewise, we have Stats, who's been back for around a year so far already. Has of course joined Kwangdong Freaks, was a part of WTL, and he's been looking to improve, but likewise, Stats is more of a part-time player, as most of the players on the Kwangdong Freaks are. He does have other commitments. He, I believe, does have an IRL job that he does focus on, and he plays StarCraft part-time. But I'm really curious to see how they face off and how they play out. Both players, 2 gate openers into an expansion. No proxy, no cheese, no one base all in. Not for the time being. So far, both players are mirroring each other. And talking about the players themselves, I know Stats has an old reputation of being, you know, the shield of iron and non-stop macro play. I mean, to be fair, he has been trying to replicate that in the past couple of weeks, in the past couple of months, but in PvP he has shown us that he's willing to be aggressive. Like PvP specifically, he has shown us that he's willing to be in your face and willing to be aggressive at times. This is the matchup that I would say both players are probably best at right now. We speak about this all the time when it comes to returning Korean military players. Players like DRG, Gumiho, Stats as well, Classic, Hero, how typically when they return, their best matchup is the mirror matchup, just because it's changed the least over time. That isn't as applicable for TVT nowadays, but when it comes to the ZVZ and PvP, like again, it's a matchup that, you know, has kind of stood the test of time, and as a result, you know, it's kind of like riding a bike a little bit, and our players can kind of flex a little bit more in this matchup. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. As for now, we are getting into our robo follow-up. We do have our prioritization of Blink. Blink is on the way. Party going to be first to take his 3rd base. Going to be playing quite macro-oriented here, and with the Hallucination Scout, Stats will confirm this as well. So I do appreciate that for the most part, both Parting and Stats have this opener and have this PvP down pat. It's all about scouting, all about hallucinations. We need to get a read on when and where the third base is. We need to make sure that there's no hidden tech, make sure there's no dark shrine, no fast gateway explosion, no fast robo. We are keeping an eye on each other, and Parting is the first to push. Remember, he does have the faster third base. Stats' third was more reactionary than his opponent's. And looking at the units tab here, ooh, we do have a slight Stalker lead here for Parting. He does push it, does focus at the sentry. Nice pick off there from Parting. At the same time, gets a second sentry for Stalker. Still though, 2 for 1 or 1 for 2 trade. Not too bad here for Parting. Shield battery does finish, so even though Stats has the Stalker disadvantage, he does have enough to push us back to force us away. He will force back the Stalkers. Immortal production has commenced. Behind this, we have a bit of a later robo for Parting, getting into slightly later Forge as well. So it's a bit of a give and take here. Stats, he's got like the slightly faster Immortal and +1 upgrades. Meanwhile, Parting has a slightly faster economy as a result. And you can see that reflected here in the worker counts. Parting, he is up a handful, soon to be five probes here compared to Stats, which is pretty big. It's pretty huge here, and as long as he's able to hit his upgrades, as long as he doesn't, push in too prematurely, then he should be able to keep up with Stats. But Stats, again, his big advantage is his Immortals. Maybe slightly behind in Stalkers, but the Immortals do pack quite a punch here. They make up for any kind of Stalker deficit. And Stats should have a Stalker deficit here just because Parting has the better economy. He's already maxed out, or I say he's maxed out. He's already saturated here at his third, working towards a fourth. And again, is soon going to be boosting up his production and boosting up his army as a result as well. Meanwhile, behind this gateway explosion, we're getting set up here on 3 bases. Hallucination does confirm the lack of 4th base. That's what Parting is specifically looking for, at least here at the linear location. Soon we'll be checking the right-hand side as well, as it is about to move out. And it's been pretty passive so far. It's been very passive so far in this PvP. Standard openers into a 3rd base, into 4th base here. Stats just one step behind when it comes to his 4th base timing, but nothing too major as we're building up towards Stalkers, Immortals, Chargelots, Archons, all things Protoss. Now the question becomes, I mean, we should be sticking with this tech for the time being. Nice denial of the hallucination there from Stats. But we should be sticking with this kind of composition for quite some time here. Of course, we can try to tech up into Disruptors, but it's a little bit too early for that, as Parting is soon to push out. Both armies do get eyes on each other. Good pick off as well. Parting did snipe the Observer. Just like that, Parting does have map control here. He does have map vision in the center, and Stats is going to have to replace that Observer and try to vie for map control himself. As we are just going to be chilling here, just saturating our bases. 4th bases are getting up and running. Parting still maintains his, did maintain his lead. I mean, his is already up and running. Meanwhile, Stats about to finish up, and Parting is pushing. He does catch a Stalker. Ooh, gets one. Clutch blinks there at his. Stats does avoid the others. The Observer once again is going to get sniped as well. So good moves here at a Parting. Picking up 1 or 2 extra units here, being quite efficient with his movement. Archons are amassing. Remember, we do have Immortals here for Stats. Does have that advantage. Does pick away at the army here. Parting does get eyes on the 4th base. Does rotate back around. Shield battery finishes up just in time. And with the shield battery, we do have an overcharge. Stats does have a pretty big defender's advantage here. But Parting, he does not want to turn back around. He's going to be committing, warps in a massive wave of Zealots. We are lacking Archons here, which is what I'm concerned about. And oh, there we go. Another Archon is on the way. Archons, they help so much when it comes to dealing with all these Zealots. When it comes to dealing with this wave of Protoss. We do have that second Archon finishing up. Meanwhile, Stats is a bit out of position here. Again, not having that Observer is huge. He doesn't see the rotations. He cannot keep up, or he's having a hard time keeping up with Parting. Likewise, Parting with his Observer, he knows exactly where Stats is, knows where he can and cannot push. Here we have an option here. We have, as the Observer does finally get picked up, Observer goes down. Stats, he dives on the army as well. The Zealots, they do clash with each other. Archon's going ham. And it looks like we do dive on top of the Prism, and it's going to be focused down. The Warpin does finish, though. The Warpin barely does finish, and with the help of these Immortals, can Stats break through? It's still so close. Zeal's doing a great job of just tanking shots, but with the defender's advantage, Stats is going to be able to take the fight. He's going to be able to break through the Zealots, get on top of the Archons, the Immortals. They reign supreme here, and Stats will force Parting back. Again, Stats, he had the better engage overall. His Archons were trading so efficiently against the Zealots of Parting. And again, these Immortals, they did help so much towards the end there when it came to focusing down Stalkers and focusing down those Archons. And just like that, Stats, he has a pretty good lead here, an army lead. Economies are similar. Parting has extra gases compared to his opponents. That's where those extra probes come into play. Stats, though, takes another base here, and with his prioritization of minerals, he can kind of focus and hyperfixate on more Zealots. Meanwhile, the Immortals survived. That's also what's important here. All three Immortals did survive for Stats, which means he can snowball out of control. He does have that supply lead, or that army quality lead even. Let's be careful. Oh, the Stalkers! They get caught out. The Blinks are not their big pickoffs. 4 Stalkers go down. Good moves there out of Parting. You know, we do see Stats rotating over. Ooh, runs into a wall of Zealots. Now, what's important here, as we're focused, hyper-fixated here on Mass Zealot. No more Stalkers, by the way. No more Stalkers here for Parting. He's getting into his own Immortal production as we speak as well, to catch back up. Is that with all these Zealots, Immortals aren't actually that important here. It's about the Archons. Immortals, they nibble away at Zealots more than anything. And Archons are that much more important. I'm concerned because we only have 2. Only 2 Archons here, 4 Stats. Focusing on his upgrades, focusing on +3. Armies are about to clash. Parting, he does catch out the prison once again. Oh, get no Stalkers. No Stalkers, the Archons, yeah, they're a little bit too far back here for Stats, and Parting, he takes a better fight, catches out the Zealots. And Stats, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. The shield battery goes out. We do have a second shield battery behind this. We do have an overcharge, thankfully. We can hold on. Parting with double the Archon counts. Again, so many Zealots here. The SimCity's helping a little bit, but alas, it is just a numbers game, and Parting, he's up 20 supply. Again, where it matters most, Parting does have the lead here. With Archons, with all those Zealots. Immortals, they don't matter as much, not against this kind of army. Yeah, the Nexus goes down. And with this, Parting is going to be able to overwhelm. Stats didn't have a bad start. He was able to take a good fight initially, but alas, we do see Parting breaking through. Takes down the Archons. Zealot reinforcements coming in. These Immortals are still going ham, though. They're doing what they can. But these 3 Immortals are the only units left here for Stats. GG gets called. That's all he had left. And Parting will take game number 1. GG. GG here. Again, the army kind of... The compositions for both Stats and Parting, they did kind of evolve over time. And as the game did progress, it was all about the Archons, all about those Zealots. And unfortunately, Stats didn't quite actually have the gas income to afford extra High Templar. I was actually looking at his bank. I was looking at his gas. He actually didn't really have a lot of gas left over, despite the fact that he was, again, focusing on... Oh. Despite the fact that that Stats was able to win that first fight, he didn't have extra gases, so he actually couldn't quite afford High Templar. He didn't have the extra gas for it. He was lacking those gases at the 4th base, and that's something that Parting was able to flex on his own end with a better economy, better gas income, able to have a better army, higher quality army there. And with that, we're going to be able to get into our next game. Bam. Into game number 2. Also, it looks like there's another English caster. It looks like Wardy has joined us. Yeah, it looks like Wardy has joined us. So I didn't even need to be. So he's gonna be jumping in mid-series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate. We have our red Protoss player leading the series 1-0. It is our returning ex-military Protoss, Parting. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing the Guangdong Freaks. Down in this series, looking to fight back. It is Stats. Here we go. So we are settling into this. Probes going to be sent out across the map. We're going to be loading into Hecate again of all maps. Quite a defendable map here. quite a defendable map here where, again, there are just so many choke points available towards the center of the map. The rush distance by ground is quite short, that is true, but we have seen quite an amount of longer games here on Hecate. We'll see how our players will adjust, though. We'll see how they'll adjust. We'll see how they will look to shake things up here. Again, to just mention that it looks like Wardy has arrived. And if he's going to continue on with these players, and if he follows them into the next round, then we will most likely peel off and head over towards a different portion of the bracket. I did mention at the start that typically we like to split up. Typically we like to spread out and make sure we cover as many matches as we can, especially if there are only 2 English streams here tonight. Would be less than ideal if we did cover the same games. So most likely we'll be heading over. Looks like we'll be heading over and jumping over to another series if that's the case. There's some other really good matches. Again, there's Hero versus Creator. There's potential Dark versus the winner of that series as well. Dark versus Hero would be amazing. There's potential for Solar versus Beyond, which is like another really good ZVT. So we'll see kind of where we do end up heading. Meanwhile, behind this, again, 2 gate openers all around for both stats and parting. And our Stalkers are on the way. So nothing too fancy here. There's no proxy, there's no cheese. We do see parting throwing down a pylon just to get a read on the first 2 units, and it is going to be double Stalker out of stats. It is going to be double Stalker. Likewise, behind this, we're going to be delaying our expansion, going for a faster Stargate. So a bit of a more aggressive opener here. Out of stats is not all in by any means. Stats should still be expanding, but he is going to be going for some Oracle Harass. It's going to be Adepts alongside Oracles here for stats. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have just a safer opener here out of Parting. Going to be going for a Twilight Council as a follow-up, and here come the Hallucinations. Now, with this Hallucination Scout, as long as he avoids the Stalkers, which he does, he's going to be able to dip into the main base and get a read of what is going on. He's going to be able to get eyes on the faster Stargates as well as the Oracle being produced. So a big moment, a big scout here for Parting. Going to be able to throw down those shield batteries in time, and there it is. Shield batteries are on the way to make sure that the Oracles don't get any damage done. Solid stuff here from Parting. Really good scouting. Meanwhile, as we do get behind this, as we get into our 2-base saturation, we do see stats pushing on forward here, but there's a shield battery already done. Parting should be safe and sound. It does wall off in time. Adepts do not make it into the main base. We are going to be looking solid. As they continue to shade in towards that main. Able to wall off as well. So far, Parting is keeping up. Oracle heads in towards the main base. We could even go straight for that probe. Yeah, the probe is going to be going down. Perhaps they aren't quite able to commit here, and it looks like the Oracle finds a second worker. 2 probes, that's damage. And we don't take any hull damage to the Oracle either, so not a bad start here for stats. At least he's able to gain some value here with his Oracle, despite the fact that he got scouted, as long as he doesn't lose it. Meanwhile, back at home, ooh, we have additional gateways. Okay, we're going up to our 3rd and 4th gateway here for stats, and I'm curious if we continue. As the second Oracle has arrived, we get another couple of probes. 3 workers will go down. 3 workers will go down. Likewise, Adept's going to be shading over towards the right-hand side. Once again, we're able to wall off. And I'm pretty sure Stats does intend to commit here. Again, you wouldn't really get up to 4 gateways this early on without good reason. And I feel like the reason is they had a timing here with Blink, which is going to be building up that Stalker count and moving out across the map. At the same time, Parting going to be delaying his own production here, and soon I imagine to be taking another base. Oh, does come across his Adepts. Oh! And it looks like he barely will shut them down. We saw it was so close to killing that sentry. Alas, the sentry lives. The Adept does fall. Parting, he has control of his side of the map so far. Stats, looking to take a 3rd base. I'm going to be skipping a warp in, takes a faster 3rd. I think that's the big thing here that we were able to scout as both Oracles go down. We got a handful of probes, but losing 2 Oracles, not quite worth it here. We were checking, we were looking for the 3rd base, assuming that it would be taken, but no, Parting is the one pushing out instead. how the turns have tabled. Parting, he hasn't been skipping his warpins. He has been hyperfixated here on his army. Parting does have a Stalker lead. Oh. Parting, he's up in Stalkers, pushing up the ramp. Stats, a little bit unawares. He does miss his force fields. I mean, we blink up anyway. No Guardian Shield. And Stats, he's in a lot of trouble right now. Force off the overcharge. With it, he can force this back. Does lose a good chunk of Stalkers. Parting, rotating around. Does check, does confirm the third base. He expands behind this. Takes his own third. And again, Parting, he does have the numbers on his side. He can take a bit of fight here, especially without the overcharge. Yeah, another Stalker goes down. Another 2 Stalkers go down. Trading blow for blow here. We are going to be trading as Parting is forced back in the end. And Stats will hold on to his third. And just like that, again, Parting, he was up, I want to say, 5+ Stalkers earlier. He was hoping to do more damage. He was hoping to break this third base. Alas, Parting is now behind in his third base timing, behind in the economy, and soon to be behind in the army. Parting, when behind, Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine is on the way here for the Protoss, for our red Protoss player. And he does actually avoid those Stalkers. He avoids the main army. He gets across the map. Force to recall, though. Is forced to recall. Shield battery goes down. Good pick off there from Stats. He gets a couple of probes. Dives on top of the army as well. Stats knows he has the advantage. But it's still very close. Oh, forced to recall in the middle of the fight here is going to lose a lot of Stalkers. Stats, he does pull back. But he still maintains his worker lead. Has a better economy. Can sustain some losses here. As long as he doesn't lose too much of these adepts. Speaking of, adepts, they are going to be shading in. The 2 adepts, they do one-shot workers. 2 workers in total. Oh, we get a third. Not quite a 4. 3 probes go down. Parting, tying things up. Pushing out on the right-hand side. Going to be threatening the third base here of Parting. Oh, sorry, of Stats. Gets a probe. Behind this, we can see our transition here. Both players working towards charge, working towards Archons. Just like the previous game, Charge or Archon will fare better here, or can be more efficient. And is what they're both going to be working towards. Unlike the previous game, Stats doesn't have that big immortal advantage that he once did in Game 1. Both players going to have much more similar compositions here. Oh, his Parting is getting punished a little bit. Does lose an extra Stalker. Parting trying to find another as well. Doesn't quite get it. Behind this, oh, 2 adepts, they shade in once again. A charge not quite done. We do get a surround. But that's going to be 6 dead workers. And just like that, for the first time in quite some time, Parting takes a worker lead in this game. Does manage to get that back. Stats instead taking a 4th base, building himself up. Similar to the last game, we're just going to be chilling things down here and building up towards Archons and Zealots. But again, what are the compositions going to be looking like? What's kind of the ratio going to be looking like as well? As you saw previously, Parting with the higher Archon count was able to snowball out of control and just annihilate those Zealots. Going to show how important those Archons can be. So both players just going to be calming things down, building up. Building up overall. And Stats with the slight supply lead. Moves out. Parting's able to keep up. Able to force him back. And there we go. The Archon's now on the way. We spoke about this before, but one of the big features here of Hecate is just how congested like the center of the map can be and how difficult it is to push out. A big reason for this isn't just these choke points, but also these points of elevation, these ramps. All these ramps are so difficult to push into. It's so difficult to be the aggressing player here on this map, and that's why we do see quite a lot of longer games here on Hecate. You'll be down in supply, but hey, if you have the high ground, if you have a better concave, then you can still take a fight. saying that the army size hero stats is getting a bit out of hand. This time, there we go. Third and fourth Archon on the way. Parting behind this, trying to get into immortal production. Taking a more defensive stance. Army is spotted. At the same time, a Zealot on my own left-hand side, and Parting trying to be proactive, trying to engage. Again, has to be very careful with how he does so. Oh, as he bleeds out a Stalker, bleeds out two. Bleeds out two Stalkers. Stats looking to max out here with a pretty insane army. Jesus. He's up in Archon, he's up in Zealots. Parting is supply blocked. Oh. Yeah, Parting just also pylon here towards the right hand side. Did get supply blocked, trying to take up into disruptors. I mean, that would be amazing, but he needs time. He needs time for disruptors. Stats is going to be rotating around. Parting trying to keep up with him. It's a bit of a role reversal from the previous game where Parting doesn't have map vision, doesn't have map control. We dive on top of the base. Stats backs the hell off. I don't think that would have been the worst fight, but does retreat in the end. It's the hell out of there. Let's pull back again. Stats, he is about to hit 200 supply. Parting, he's slowly catching up, is down in supply, but is on the way. Second rover for double disruptor production. If he can survive, if he can come out with these disruptors, then he can hold. Parting is trying to keep up, forces back the Protoss army of Stats. 3-3 is on the way. Stats hasn't teched, by the way. He's still committed here to this Charger Archon composition. These disruptors from Parting, they're gonna catch Stats a bit off guard, and they're on the way. They're arriving. They're here. At least one of them is. Have at least one of those disruptors. Show us the Novas. Nova soon to be going up. Here we go. Both players going to be dancing with each other. We have two more. Stats getting ready for triple disruptor production as he's also getting into his own robotics bay. But Parting did get away with taking up a little bit faster. Take up faster, take up harder. Stats, he's up a base. But Parting has caught up. Now, Stats has a larger bank. Because of the base, like, he has a massive bank to work with. Mineral bank specifically. But if he takes a couple of big Novas to the face, then Parting can still snowball out of control. First Nova sends back the army. We have one more in the chamber. We have another Nova available. We have three even. Oh my god. And Parting dives on the army. Going for the push. Nova goes off. Oh, it doesn't quite connect. Good split. Good split out of Stats. The Archon's going to be going ham. Parting trying to chase this down here. Zealots are going to be melting for both players. Oh. Once again, the Nova just zones back the Archons. Do you manage to get one of them down? And you can see Parting just bullying back the army here. Disruptor is still on the way for Stats. He has a wall of cannons, a wall of shield batteries. Here we go, the Novas go up. Once again, not quite connecting. We have Stalkers on the left-hand side trying to shut down that prism as well. And pushing into all these cannons, into all these Archons. It's not going to quite work out here. Parting trying to force the issue, but pushing into this defensive position, it's not going to work out. Parting, he's going to lose everything here. Ay, ay, ay. At the same time, Zealot run by across the map. Stats, he takes a big fight. And Stats, he's snowballing out of control. Parting, big overextension, pushing into a wall of cannons and shield batteries. Like, that was not the play. And Stats, he didn't even need his own disruptors, to be honest. Didn't even need them. Takes a better fight anyway. Disruptors, they have arrived. And Parting has almost nothing left. We do force some friendly fire. But despite that, Stats, he's got double the army supply. More than double. GG gets called, and Stats will tab the series 1-1. GG. A surprisingly passive game there between our players. Obviously, there were like advantages for either player. Stats, of course, up a base, up an economy. Parting was able to rush into disruptors and had a really good fight initially. He had a really good fight. He forced the army back. But Parting, I imagine, felt very all in. Because he was down a base, he felt like he had to take a fight then and there. But again, did overextend, did lose his advantage, did lose his tech advantage, and everything went south from that point forward. GG, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. We are going to be going the distance here. And looks like we have our third game, and it's going to be on Alcyone. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, the rest of the bracket is progressing, and we'll go over the brackets once we wrap up the series. Once the series is wrapped up, we'll go over it, and we can catch up with some of these other matches. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have a red Protoss player, a returning ex-military Protoss. It is Barney. Sorry, I just sneezed. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing the Kwangdong Freaks. It is Stats. Here we go. Again, it's a little bit surprising, but this PvP has been, again, more passive than I'm used to seeing, especially amongst the Korean Protoss players. Both Parting and Stats have been building up towards 3, even 4 base economies, been building up towards the mid-game. Very much so mid-game oriented here between these two players, and we'll see if that trend continues on Alcyone. And I imagine it will. I do imagine it will, just because of how large this map is. There's a lot of bases to be taken. There's, once again, a big defensive advantage as well. Rush distance by ground is longer on this map compared to Hecate, so would not be surprised if we get another similar game here, 3 games in a row. Just getting into the mid-game, getting into Charge of Archon. At least we saw Parting, again, rush into Disruptors the way that he did. It will spice it up a little bit more and tech up. As we saw, you know, he may have had the quote-unquote better army at a time, but he had the worst economy, and I guess he did feel quite all in with how he was playing. With that, we are now just going to be easing things into game number 3. It's going to be a 2-gate opener from both players, as to be expected. We'll see how we do kind of vary things up when it comes to our initial units. And there it is. It's going to be... Wait, what? It's going to be double Stalker here at a Stats. We have Zealot Sentry from Parting. This is not seen too often at all. Usually we go double Stalker, double Adept. We go Stalker Sentry, and yeah, there we go. I was a little bit perplexed, but it looks like we were making the Zealot just in case, you know, there was hyper aggression or some kind of cheese or proxy coming in. There is none, so we cancel the gateway as we get confirmation across the map, and we open up single sentry. Very greedy opener here out of Parting. Very fast expansion as a result, just because we skip out on the second unit. Essentially, we skip out on the second unit, get a faster expansion, and looking at the vision here, Stats is aware. He does see the greedy economic opener of Parting. The question becomes, we just catch up here. We just go for a delayed expansion instead. So Stats will have the slightly later base, but will not be going all in. Will not be going to try and punish his opponent. I mean, I say that. Stalkers are moving out. Stalkers are revealed. They chip away at the hallucination. Parting is going to be able to defend, though. His goal here is to survive long enough for the shield battery to finish. Shield battery is done, and Parting will swat this away. Stats? Hello? Behind this, Parting going to be going into a Stargate opener as well. Looking to go for some Oracle harass. Hallucination comes in, and we do get eyes and make sure that there is no hidden tech. But speaking of hidden tech, we do have that proxy pylon. We can warp in aggressively across the map. Stats being as active as possible. Dancing with the units here of Parting. But unable to really break through. He's got 2 more Stalkers on the way. Up, up! Stalker getting very low here, and Stats, he loses 2 immediately. 2 Stalkers. Likewise, he takes down 2 Stalkers of Parting. Parting, did we overextend? He just wasn't expecting that warp in here across the map. Shield Battery Overcharge is popped, but Stats, he can focus it down. Shield Battery does fall. Stats, he did lose a couple of Stalkers in the process, but he's got reinforcements on the way. Good target firing here out of Parting. Does focus out one of those Stalkers. Does try to get another. 2 more Shield Batteries in production, finishing up just in time. Oof. Yeah, trading 1 for 1. Stats slightly ahead here in the overall Stalker count. At the same time, here comes the Oracle. No Shield Battery, no defensive warp in, and probes are going down. Stats, he's committed. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. GG gets called. Parting with the checkmate. Comes across the map, eviscerates the economy, and Parting will advance on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. That was so unfortunate, but Stats, he was just woefully underprepared for the Oracle, was not aware of the Stargate behind it, and had nothing at home to defend. Was forced all in, and knew that he couldn't all in, especially with the second Shield Battery finishing. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we can actually take a moment here to go over the bracket. We can take a moment. Again, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Again, a big win here for Parting. As was stated previously, Parting and Stats are pretty comparable players just because they're both relatively, newcomers or returning players. I say relatively. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Parting still hasn't done his military service. If I'm not mistaken, like he did take a break from StarCraft, but it wasn't for military, if I do recall correctly. But regardless, it was cool to see these returning players face off once again. Oh wait, no, my apologies. Did conduct his military. Oh, my apologies. Did finish at last month. There you go. There you go. So yeah, basically 2 players returning from the military, and they're pretty comparable in skill. Of course, Stats has been back for a longer time, but I did mention before that Stats, even though he's been back for almost a year, he isn't full-time. Like, he isn't practicing full-time, he isn't streaming either, so he's not necessarily monetizing, his return, and yeah, as a result, isn't quite at the level that he once was, and hopefully he can get there again. I do hope so, but it does depend on whether or not Stats does want to commit in such a fashion, or maybe he'll be committing a little bit harder in another esport, in another game, another RTS. Stormgate on the horizon, Zero Space on the horizon. We'll see. For now, though, we can have a moment to have a look at the bracket. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look yourselves, and we can quickly go over things. Now I have confirmation. Parting has his next opponent. It's going to be going up against Gumiho, but I did just mention that I believe Wardy has recently joined us, so he is going to be covering that lower bracket series. We will try to find some other players to cover instead. As again, I don't really feel too comfortable like having both English streams following the same series. Like that I'm shaking my head. So here we go. Scrolling down, we have Parting taking down Stats 2-0, advancing on against Gumiho in the round 16. Winner of this series goes up against either Oliveira or Shin in the quarterfinals. So the lower bracket is well underway. Scrolling up a little bit here, we have a Classic going up against Cyan in a PvP. Really spicy PvP, might I add. Big shout out, best of luck to Cyan in his series. He's been improving a lot over the past year. Scrolling up, we have Cure versus Nice in a PvT. Best of luck to Nice. Cure, he's renowned for his Terran versus Protoss, and he has nothing but Protoss to face off against, at least until the semifinals. So, and we just got an update. Cure did just 2-0 Nice. Scrolling up a little bit further, we have Beyond versus Nightmare. Fun fact, that just concluded, and Nightmare did 2-0 Beyond. Again, Nightmare, he has been popping off. Nightmare, shouldn't be surprised that he 2-0'd Beyond. He actually took down Beyond last week as well, and this is his best matchup. A lot of people maybe aren't too familiar, maybe they don't watch too much of these online weeklies, but Nightmare's best matchup is Protoss versus Terran, and we've seen Nightmare take down Beyond, Cure, and Gumiho time and time again. This is his wheelhouse, so congratulations. Congratulations to Nightmare as he does advance on to the quarterfinals to face off against either Coffee or Solar in a TVZ. Scrolling up, looks like Creator did arrive. I did mention before that this was my initial go-to. I was going to be jumping on Hero versus Creator, but alas, we missed it. Creator was a little bit late, but that series did already conclude, and Hero advances on into the quarterfinals, and we have Lemon versus Rex. Ooh, in a ZVP, I believe. Lemon is a race picker. Like Lemon, he's like GM in all 3 races, so not too sure which race he's playing, but he's up against Rex. Winner goes up against Dark. Winner goes up against Hero, and this is kind of where I want to focus our attention if possible. I believe Rex and Lemon are still mid-series. I believe they're still in-game, but there's some really high-quality matches potential here. You know, Rex leading into Dark and leading into Hero, really good matches will be had. Likewise, here towards the south, Nightmare versus Solar, or even Nightmare versus Coffee, looks like a lot of fun as well. So if I do have confirmation, of course, Wardy is going to be competing against Wardy is going to be competing against what he's going to be casting Gumiho versus Parting, so he's got you covered here in the lower half of the bracket. So if that's the case, then he can have the lower half, and we will be going over towards the upper half of the bracket instead. Again, our goal is to just split up and to cover as much ground as we can. That is the goal, at least. That is the goal. But now, though, we have to wait for a series. We have to wait for a series to open up. So we're going to be waiting for Lemon and Rex to come out of game. We could jump into game 2, game 3, or follow the winner into Dark. Otherwise, I believe we could jump into Coffee versus Solar. I believe Coffee and Solar are still mid-series, and Nightmare is still waiting for the winner of that series as well. So, yeah, we are just going to be chilling here for a little bit, and we will be waiting to see what series does open up. That is our plan. That is our plan here. Besides Maru, there's like every top Korean in this. Yeah, Maru, he doesn't play in ESL Open Cups. He has played in KSLs before, but doesn't really partake in the ESL Open Cups. Unfortunately. Would be great to see more of him. Would be great to see more. I'm going to be catching up. Byeon's fallen off. Byeon hasn't fallen off. I know people. Again, this is what I meant. There are some people that maybe aren't familiar with Nightmare and don't know that he's like been like a top tier Korean Terrans like pretty consistently for like, I say consistently, like sporadically for the past like couple of years. But yeah, Beyond, he's still amazing, still really in form, and I do look forward to seeing more of him at IM Katowice. Was unfortunate for him to face off against Nightmare of all players, whether it was Beyond or Cure. Again, Nightmare, he's definitely someone to be respected in the PvT matchup. So dangerous, might be dangerous. As for now, we're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here, and when we return, we will have our next series. We'll have our next matchup. We'll see you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended delay, or the extended break, but hope you enjoyed the Brutal OST, because we have returned with our next matchup of the night with our ZVP. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkyone, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player from the land of Taiwan, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lemon. And I do need a moment to fix the goddamn UI. Un momento, papi. There we go, there we go. Bam. Huh. We are getting to our ZVP. Again, a bit of a surprising result here as Lemon took down the king himself. He took down Rex as let's go. He took down Rex 2-0 in the first round. Again, Rex, he is more of a commentator nowadays, more of a content creator. He isn't as ingrained, or he isn't competing the same way that he used to back in the day. For those that maybe don't remember, or maybe more familiar, Rex, he did actually retire for a time. He did retire, did relatively recently come back, and when he came back as more of a caster and content creator, and alas, did fall to Lemon as a result here, his countryman, if you will. So really cool to see Lemon popping off, and can Lemon go further, because he's up against arguably the best Zerg player in all of South Korea here. Again, Dark did have a pretty deep run and did perform quite well in Master Coliseum a couple of days ago. We did wrap up that tournament, but we'll see if Lemon can keep up, because Dark is going for the gold. This is something that Dark loves to do in this matchup, and Lemon is fully aware. Again, Dark is, I would say though, uniquely one of the few Zerg players that takes the gold base on this side of the gold, not on the right-hand side of the gold base. Now, the reason for this, of course, one, shorter rush distance by ground, because this is usually for an all-in. This is typically for an all-in. You use this to launch your creep across the map. With this, you can go for a Ling Bane bus, or you can go for a Roach-based all-in instead. We have pulled out of gas though, so only Ling speed is going to be prioritized here for Dark, at least for now. Now purely Ling speed, and it's going to be on Lemon to punish this. It's going to be on Lemon to try to bring this low and shut down this gold. Can he do so though? That is the question. For now, Adept is moving out. Likewise, Dark setting up with his queens and his lings. He is preparing himself. And the queen is up, already working on those rocks as well. Queen going to be able to zone that Adept away, as the Adept does shade between the bases. Behind this, going to be a Stargate opener here for Lemon. Lings, they slip in. They do get a full scout. Oh, don't quite get a probe. Good control out of Lemon. Does pull back. Does manage to pull back that weekend worker. Lings, once again, though, they dip in towards the natural. Oh, God, threading the mineral line, forcing quite a bit of lost mining time. Quite a bit. And again, behind this, Dark is going to be building up here. Ling's speed about to kick in. He's taking his third base as his natural. Again, he's spreading his creep forward here towards his opponent. Again, prioritizing spreading creep towards Lemon instead of back home to connect the bases. And we'll see where we go from here. Spore's already on the way to help deal with the Oracle. Again, we did confirm the Stargate opener, so Dark, he knows to be prepared here for the Oracle harass. As Lemon is taking a third, okay. So we're not really being hyper aggressive behind this. Lemon, he's just chilling, just taking a third base. Now this is dangerous because we have a 4-minute Roach Warren. This is a Roach Rush. Like, as we mentioned before, Dark typically does this for an all-in. He's building up a massive amount of queens. Roaches are being prioritized very early on here at 4 minutes, and we will soon be pushing across the map. This Roach Warren timing makes no sense against a Stargate, because typically you would delay this until the 5-minute mark. So for a Roach Warren to be this early on does signify aggression. Oracle comes in, Oracle scouts. So we should be aware of what's going on, and it's going to be on Lemon to defend. Does have a second Oracle, soon to be a third. Twilight Council behind this. Oh boy, and here we go. The Queen's already starting to push out across the map. Roaches are amassing. The all-in is upon us. And Lemon, are we ready for this? We do have a stasis trap about to be thrown down. He gets spotted, gets baited out. Shield batteries just now on the way, but these shield batteries, they feel late. They feel a little bit too late here as Dark is waddling on forward. Again, he has gotten away with his goal base. He's able to get away with his build of choice, with his all-in of choice. Baiting out another stasis trap. We have 2 shield batteries on the way, but we're diving on them immediately here. Oracles are coming in. Ooh, getting a lot of damage done. A lot of Lings do go down, but good target firing there from Dark. Overcharge, keeping those Oracles alive. Oh, with the help of the shield batteries with the overcharge, can we hold? It's going to be close. The Queen somehow survives. We break through. We have broken the 3rd base. Do you have a decent army? The army is barely holding on here at the natural. Stalker's going to go down. And again, Lemon is trying to hold the line here. Ooh. Doing a bit of friendly fire with that file. But again, the Lings, they just focus here. Focus on the Nexus. And the army's being zoned away. With the death of this base, Dark could try to drone, but he cut workers quite early on. He wants more than just the 3rd. He wants to keep on pushing, keep on going, dives on the army. Oh, we don't have Blink. No Blink whatsoever. Big engage here, big surround here on these Stalkers. There's so much surface area on them. And Dark, he retreats for now, building up more of an army. Now he's starting to mix in a couple of drones. Ooh. The Biles do take down another Stalker. And again, Dark trading well, containing his opponent. And he's squeezing out a couple of workers here and there. Getting his natural up and running. And taking an economic lead. The Biles! Oh my god. They do connect. Behind this, the Queens, they're waddling back just so they can spread creep, just so they can inject. Lair is on the way. Lair in production here for Dark. Meanwhile, Lemon takes his 3rd. We're trying to retake his 3rd. Behind this, he's working on Blink. Unfortunately, no Forge. There's no Forge whatsoever. We're on 5 gateways. Lemon doesn't have really much going for him here. Not anymore. Not without a Forge or any other further tech. You just got pure Blink Stalkers. Vanilla Blink Stalkers. Oh. As he's just trying to re-establish his 3rd base. Stalkers pushing in. Oh. Dancing with the army. And Dark, he's looking for this trade. He's more than happy to just turn around and fight. And pick up a couple of those Stalkers. Forge now in production, but it's so late here for Lemon. It is so late. Lucy Dark trying to collapse on this army from behind, trying to catch out these Stalkers. Oh, and he barely is. He gets 1, he gets up, 2, 3. Oh my god. 3 Stalkers go down. Good pickups behind this. We're droning up. We're saturating our natural base. We're saturating our gold, of course. 4th hatchery on the way. And Lemon is double expanding, which I do appreciate. He's taking another Nexus behind this. He's trying to catch back up. The worrisome thing here is that Dark actually raced his way into a hive. Fast infestation with fast hive tech. I'm curious what this is going to be for. Whether we just use this for Adrenal, if we sneak in a couple of Vipers, if we rush into Ultras. Dark has options. He does have options here. Meanwhile, the Stalkers once again going to be threatening the bases. And we're still lacking those upgrades, still being quite tentative here on the edge of creep. As Lemon is just mass probing right now, getting this 4th base up and running. I believe Dark is unaware. If Dark was aware of this base, he could try to punish it with Lings, but alas, is in the dark. Is busy dealing with these Stalkers. So Lemon is getting away with it so far. Oh my god, but we collapse on this. We collapse on the Stalkers. More of them go down. Behind this Baneling Nest on the way, +2 melee. It's going to be Lingbane Roach Ravager as the composition of choice. Which means this hive should be for Adrenal. And mainly Adrenal. There we go, Adrenal's on the way. Stalkers rotating around. Once again, Dark setting up a surround here. Stalkers, they came in a little bit too hard. Yeah, they do, Kimber. We get a big surround. Where are the Oracles? They were out of position. We pick off a good chunk of Stalkers. Again, these have been efficient trades here for Dark. 32 more Lings on the way. Now we're taking up into a bay. We're still to take our gases here, but we're soon going to be getting to Colossus production, I imagine. We're getting there, as we're taking these gases here instead, here towards the 4th. Dark sees. He finally does come across the base. He's aware. And now he's aware that he's fallen behind in the workers. Can he punish it, though? Can he do anything about it? Oh, the stasis. The stasis goes off. Gold on the way. Yo, Lemon has been so greedy behind this. I love it. Like, fast 4th into a fast 5th. That happens to be the gold as well. Dark now realizes his folly here, that he is falling behind economically. Has been trading well, thankfully. But there's a lot of onus on Dark to do something about that economy, do something about that mineral line. Oh. As we connect, Zellar being set up. The Vipers are on the way. So we do catch out those Zealots. Now, when it comes to this gold base, and even not just the gold, but getting his 4th fully operational, we can get into double Colossus production. I would have preferred if the second robo was a little bit faster. It's taking a little bit long to get into these Colossi, but they're on the way nonetheless. The problem here is that because the Colossus production has been delayed, by the time they come out, we have Vipers. We have the answer to Colossi. That's the problem. The problem that Lemon has to overcome. Templar Archives behind this again to High Templar, Storm, Archons. Runby is going to get spotted here. So Arc pushing in, this time focusing on harassing that mineral line. Gets a couple of probes. Ooh, even connects with the Stalkers as well. At the same time, Ling Runby being set up. Likewise, Ling's pushing towards that 3rd base. They get on top of the Robo. Yeah, the Robo and the shield battery. One Robo goes down. Oh my god. The Adrenal Lings. Jesus. Oh, they didn't play. They take down both Robos. No shot. Both Robos go down. They have to be rebuilt. How many Colossi do we have? We have 1. I was concerned that the second Robo was too late and it was going to disrupt Colossus production. Little did I know that there was just going to be 0 Colossus production whatsoever. Probes, they go down. Banelings waddle in. 14 probes fall. And Dark, he's popping off. He cripples the production, cripples the economy here. Dark, even though he hasn't had as much of a lead that he wanted from the initial all-in, even though he didn't kill his opponent, he's still in control and still has plenty of energy on those Vipers. There's 1 Colossus to yoink. And he's going for it. Oh! Goes for Lightning Cloud. Does throw it down. Good feedback there. And we end up yoinking an Archon instead. I mean, regardless, we get value. Ooh, Files connect. Vipers are going to be retreating, gathering energy. Stasis traps on the way. Likewise, Prism into the main base, gets targeted down by the Queens. The Prism does fall. Zelt's going to be going down as well. Now, Lemon does have a pretty large army. It's the quality of the army. It's the consistency here that I'm really concerned about as we yoink the Colossus. Colossus is going to be going down. Only Stalkers and a handful of Archons, and really it's only Stalkers left. Only Stalkers do remain. And against Cracklings of all things. Behind this, we have 2 Colossi. The 2 Rovers are back up and running. 5th base on the way. Sorry, 6th base on the way here for 411. I almost called him nice. And again, like, his economy is holding on. Like, it's holding its own here. 411. Again, though, it's the army composition that I'm most concerned about. Now he's up to 2 Colossi. He's mixing in some of these Archons. Do we have Storm? We do not. No Storm is available. We do have +3. We're mixing in some Immortals here to help against the Roaches and Ravagers. Not just that, they will help against the Ultras as well. So I do like this Immortal switch, the Immortal transition. Something I would like more, especially as we get a 6th base, is Skyjaws. Working towards Skytals would be amazing right now here for Lemon. But now they're commits across the map. Big fungal here to the face. Oh! As we shut down the Zealots. Likewise, Oracle's going to be falling as well. Ling Runway does get into the mineral line. Probes are going to be going down. Again, these are these are +3 Lings with Adrenal. Probes are going down. We get 8 of them. Likewise, Dark building himself up, getting back into more Ultras. Oracle's going to be falling. And Dark, just non-stop aggression here. Lings, they do distract the army here on the right. Ultra almost goes down, but we bust into the natural base. Oh my god, we deny the warp in, we break through, and we can go straight for the probes. Probes are going down. The lone Ultra, no. Does come in on its own, does get shut down. Nice trade there from Lemon, but the Ling Runby, it's getting out of hand, it's getting out of control. As they're breaking into the main base, and we take down every single worker here at the natural. Meanwhile, we're pushing in without stalkers. Oh, thank god. we pull back. Lemon almost overextends. Again, this is a very fragile army. There's no buffer for it. As the Ling harass continues. 27 probes go down. We're just pulling Lemon apart. And the base will fall. Like, these Lings are doing an insane amount of damage. This time, Lemon's able to keep up. Shuts down an Ultra. Does shut down Ultra, but he gets baited out. Does get baited. So many Stalkers fall. The rest of the army out of position. We have to rotate on over. Again, this army isn't looking too bad. A massive amount of Archons, Immortals, Colossus. But we just can't keep up as we get dragged one way and then the other. We pick off an Immortal. We yoink the Colossus as well. Oof. Colossi will survive though. And Lemon, he can warp in. He can reinforce. We can push out. We shut down the Viper. And Dark, have we spent a little bit too much here harassing? Now, when it comes to the main army here of Lemon, it's actually pretty insane what we've been slowly working up towards. I mean, we're losing bases, don't get me wrong. Like, the economy here is not looking good. But the army, we can soon A-move. I think we can, actually. What do we have? We have 5 Immortals, 12 Archons, and 2 Colossus. We can push out across the map. And again, this army doesn't have a lot of finesse. It isn't as mobile without Blink Stalkers. You know, there's no higher tech like Sky Toss. But this army, we can push in. And Dark, he has to respect it. He has to be very careful with how he engages. Instead, he's going for these run-bys. He's avoiding the main fights. One Ultra goes down. We have Roach Ravager hitting the natural. We have Ling Ultra pushing towards the gold. And we're all in. We are completely all in at this point. And can Dark deal with this? That's the question. That's the big question right now. Can he deal with this army? I don't know if he can. He's getting cleaned up. He's getting cleaned up back at home. Across the map, the Roaches, Ravagers, the Ultras, they're going down. And it looks like Lemon, he's doing it. He is doing it. Who needs an economy? Who needs all these bases when you have a death ball of an army? The Mass Archon, the Mass Immortal. GG gets called. It cannot be dealt with. And Lemon takes game number 1. Let's go. GG, well played. Lemon was having a hard time keeping up with the movement with the army of Dark. That's true. I mean, we saw, right? Like, so many workers going down, the production going down, bases going down. But he was slowly building up that Archon count and that Immortal count. And again, he had an A-move army. He had a terrifying army that could not be dealt with. Dark, he was investing so much, arguably too much, in harassing, in going for these run-bys. Some expensive run-bys. Like, the Lings were fine, but we were bleeding out Ultras. There was a big moment where the Infestors went down. Remember, the Infestors got sniped by the Oracles, like a couple of minutes ago. The Vipers got sniped by the Stalkers. So some really good pickoffs here. Really good pickoffs as I'm not moving this time. God damn it. It looks like Wardy's going to be joining us. It looks like he has left the lower half of the bracket. He's going to be joining us here on the upper half. I feel like if I keep moving around, he's just going to follow us anyway. So we're sticking with it, Pop. We're sticking with it. Aye. We will stick with it here. I believe Wardy just finished casting Parting versus Gumiho, if I'm not mistaken. Do we have any other updates? This isn't the first time this has happened. Really? So Gumiho, he took down Parting 2-0. To be expected. Gumiho is very much so in form and very much so terrifying. Gumiho is up against Oliveira in a TVT. Not the first time. We've seen Rotterdam do this. Wardy does it as well. They avoid the TVTs. Oh yeah. They don't like the Cyclone v Cyclone, Papi. What? Why? It's so much fun. Unfortunately, it looks like Oliveira versus Gumiho won't be casted. Unfortunately, but regardless, we're going to have amazing matches here before us, and we can focus here on our PVZ. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Zerga player representing himself, currently teamless. I think I may have accidentally introduced him as CranKy Gaming, but is teamless currently. It is Dark, the favorite down in this series. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the Pink Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming. One moment, here we go. Bam! It is Lemon. There we go. As we are going to be selling it here into game number 2. Into game number 2. Dark are going to be going for a much more standard opener here. He's not tempted to go into something like a goal base. There's no goal base to take here, so he's not tempted. Going for a much more standard opener instead. Likewise, Lemon, able to weather the storm that was Dark, able to survive low enough to build up that Archon count, that Immortal count, and Snowball out of control. GG. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. As we do continue here with our series, again, it's going to be a hatch, gas pool opener, standard opener out of Dark. Likewise, a gate expand here out of Lemon. And again, we'll see if Lemon can replicate that success. I mentioned before that I was surprised to see Lemon take down Rex, and I did kind of, brush on the fact that Rex isn't, a pro gamer anymore. He's more of a content creator nowadays. He's not hyper-fixated on improving and practicing all the time. But even despite that, to see Lemon bringing Rex down was 2-0 especially was still surprising to me. It was still surprising to me. So clearly we can see that Lemon, he has been improving quite a lot, and it's not just that Rex has been, competing less, but clearly that Lemon has been practicing quite a bit and improving. And for him to bring Dark down, even though of course Dark's economy was a little bit stifled because of his all-in that he was transitioning out of, even despite that, Lemon, he did well for himself, did very well. Another big reason, though, winding it back to that last game, was the 4th base. If you remember, it took a long time for Dark to scout the 4th, and Lemon was able to be quite greedy. He rushed into the 4th, rushed into his 5th base, and was able to get away with that quite early on. Dark was killing workers, that is true, but for the most part, Lemon was able to maintain his economy and maintain himself clearly, as he was able to build up and eventually push out. But we'll see how things will differ here in game number 2. As we do have our Adepts moving out, going to be threatening those mineral lines. Likewise, Dark is trying to keep up here, trying to keep up with said Adepts. Once you shut them down, likewise going to be a Stargate opener into Oracle into a third base. Standard opener here from our pink Protoss player. Triple Oracle into a third, nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. Nothing too out of the norm here from Lemon. As they cross the map, the adepts, they do shade in. Oh! They do shade in there. They get 3 drone kills here in the middle line. Not too bad. Not too bad here whatsoever. Meanwhile, with the death of those adepts, that means that we can go for a big counterattack. And the goal here for Dark is to deny this third base. Do dive in. The Oracles, they ignore the Lings. Ooh, bold move here from Lemon. Because the adepts, they're getting surrounded. The adepts, yeah, they're going to be going down. Now we turn back around. Lemon just being a little bit greedy there, was punished for it. But does swat away those Lings. Regardless, good value out of Dark, killing 2 more adepts. Forcing an extra warp in. Dark will pull back. Behind this, we do have our Twilight Council follow-up with an abundance of gateways. Interesting, no forge. So, upon seeing this transition, I would assume that this would be Glaive Adepts, but we saw that last game, Lemon also delayed his forge. Well, when going Blink Stalkers, of course, it takes a lot of damage on that Oracle. But we have seen him delay his forge before. See if he does it again as Lings, they do bust into the main. And they break into the main base. Probes are going to be going down. And we get a free scout of the main as well. We confirm the lack of forge. Blink is on the way, as you did mention. This is a hero style way of playing, by the way. Hero is the only other player that I've seen. Oh, I say hero. I think Hearthstone's on it as well. Where you delay the forge, you delay your upgrades, and prioritize Blink and just a higher stalker count in general. As 6 probes go down. Dark continuing his Ling aggression. Well, as he does, though, we do have the Oracles harassing. 1 Oracle goes down. Lings, they push in. They get us around. They do get us around here on the Stalkers. Big pickoffs. We get 1, we get 2. Again, really good trade so far by Dark, picking up Adepts and Stalkers, even Probes wherever he can. These Lings, they've gotten a lot of value here for Dark. Have gotten a lot of value as he is double expanding. We're taking his 4th, taking his macro hatch. There's that forge now on the way for Lemon. Again, a delayed forge and delayed upgrades, and unfortunately won't be able to really flex his higher stalker count because he has been bleeding them out. And as he moves out, ooh, big Ling run by. We're looking to cancel the 4th. We're racing back home. The 4th is cancelled. It's going to be cancelled here as we do pick off another Stalker. Oh god. Do pick off another 1, another 2 Stalkers go down. Lemon struggling a little bit here. Behind this, we're going to be taking up into a fast infestation again. So this is very similar to the previous game, if you remember. Dark, he got a very fast Hive, very fast Adrenal here, eventually leading into Ultras down the line. Hive Tech, though, on the way. Dark, for the time being, going Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. Very heavy on the Lings. As he is moving out. And once again, for a second time, Dark, he gets us around here on the Nexus and will force a cancel. And the base is cancelled. Lemon coming in, though, will shave off some of these Lings. But regardless, really good trades here for Dark, denying the space 2 times already. Big delays here from Dark. And he's not done. He's coming in again. Lemon, he's being so aggressive and leaving nothing at home. Nothing is left back at home. Robo's going to be going down. GG gets called. It's just too much damage. Lemon gets pulled apart, and Dark will tie up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played here. A solid game there out of Dark. Lemon was just a little bit too aggressive. Multiple times he would be moving out and he'd leave his bases exposed. His 3rd base, his 4th base, they would be left undefended, and Dark was always there to punish him, always there to just get damage done. GG, well played. A solid game this time out of Dark, and the gloves are off, clearly. The gloves are off. Dark, he's upset, he's angry. He wants to move on. He wants to move on to face off against Hero. See in the chat, Lemon is max max. If you are unfamiliar, I mean, we've been classing Lemon for many years. I mentioned this before. Maybe if you have been watching the Oceanic and the Asian scene, then I mean, you'd be familiar with Lemon. We've been casting him since 2019, 2020. But Lemon has changed over the years, specifically when it comes to his main race. Lemon at one time was Zerg, then at another time was Terran. Now he's Protoss. He's a bit of a race picker. Like every year or so, he switches races, and he's GM in every race, which is really impressive. But what I will say is that right now he's playing better than he has in a long time. I mentioned before that I was surprised to see him take down Rex. Very surprised to see that result, and we'll see if he can go even further than that. Meanwhile, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing himself, currently teamless. Tying up the series 1-1, it is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Protoss player, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lemon. Here we go. Just like Hero, he doesn't close the wall. There's a big difference between between that. Hero, he doesn't close the wall, but I'm sure many people that watch Hero recognize that even when he doesn't close the wall, he doesn't take damage. He is so quick at warping in defensively and responding and minimizing losses, even if Lings get into his main and into his natural. It's very impressive how Hero is able to like kind of react to those chaotic situations. Unfortunately, that's something that Lemon does have to learn himself, as we do have Dark coming in for a bit of a hatch block. Did attempt to, at least. Again, Dark, he's known for either proxy hatching or hatchery blocks as well. Is going to be denied. Dark forced to expand back at home. Going for a hatch gas pool opener. Oh, tried to gas steal as well, but Lemon, he is on top of it. Does throw down his gas geyser, and the drone is forced out. We go. As here we go, we are settling into this. Again, that drone was dealt with, and now we can get into our openers. I say dealt with, it's still here, marauding in the main base. Did see someone asking about Dark's team. We said this before, but so unfortunately, CranKy Gaming doesn't have an in-game clan. There's no in-game team that was set up for DKZ. So that's why the players on DKZ just added it to their in-game names. And it does cost money to name change. So Dark is teamless, but hasn't name changed because, I mean, yeah, it hasn't felt the need to name change. We gotta save the money, pal. We gotta save it. There are rumors, though. There are rumors that Dark will soon be joining a new team in a couple of days. We're getting a couple of days here as we do see Lemon moving out. Yeah, just make sure we can clear things up in the chat. As Adept say, do shade in between the bases here, trying to pick up some workers, but they get caught out by the Lings. Oh, they do get caught out by the Lings. As Lemon does pull back. I do see someone saying that, yeah, Lemon is marked as Zerg on Wikipedia. Yeah, by default, we mentioned before that Lemon, he is a race picker, and by default, he's Zerg on Wikipedia. So, that's why sometimes the race is wrong on the bracket, but thankfully it is fixed, thankfully. Or as the Oracle does dip into the main, they get a couple of drone kills. Ooh, takes a lot of hull damage though. At the same time, Dark going for a big link counterattack. The Adepts have fallen, this base is exposed and will take a lot of damage. The base will survive, but the base will survive, but alas, does take a lot of hits. As Lings, they do continue to come on in, and we are out of energy. No shot. We're out of energy. The pylon is going to go down. Can we get the base? Can we get the base as well here as we do collapse here on the Nexus? It's taking so much damage. Honestly, if we went for the base initially, we may have been able to get it as we barely force it back. Lings will retreat. Ay, ay, ay. Unfortunately, Protoss players can't repair buildings here, so this base is disturbingly low. It's very low. Dark, he wants it. He wants the base. Goes for a surround. He's going to get a surround here on the Adepts as well. And no shot. The Oracles are out of position and we're racing back home. The Oracles are racing back home. And can we take down the Nexus? We take down the Adepts instead. The base will survive for now. We'll keep an eye on it. we'll keep an eye on that Nexus. Aye, aye, aye. Behind this, the Oracle's going to be harassing, but their queens are in position. Going to be able to send them away. Ooh, as the Oracle will fall. Behind this, Dark going to be joining up. Will be droning up. Cost one to name change? No, it doesn't. It does. It does. There's a free name change at the start of the season. Unfortunately, it's not the start of the season. Unfortunately. CranKy Ducklings Dark. Oh, let's go. Unfortunately, we don't have any funds for that. Unfortunately. But yes, free name changes are a thing. Unfortunately, it's not the start of the season anymore. As we do see Lings catching a Stalker. Oh! They do pick it up. Do pick up a Stalker. Stark pushes on in. Coming in from the right-hand side. Oh, coming across the would-be fourth base as well. Again, for the time being, Dark has map control. Unlike the previous games, we have been stuck at home. Lemon has been stuck at home defending, and Dark has been free to just expand, take a fourth base, take up once again into Fast Hive. Infestation Bit is on the way, and the fourth base is cancelled. Fourth base is going to be cancelled here. We do see Lemon trying to take it towards the center of the map. Oak was rotating around. Dark is going to be forced back. Forced back for the time being. Thankfully, Lemon getting his fourth base up and running. Soon to be. More Stalkers on the way. Now we can finally move out across the map. Finally apply pressure here to the fourth of Dark. Dark a bit out of position with his Lings. Coming for a surround. Stasis trap. Ooh, is going to get baited out though. Is going to get baited here. As Dark collapses on these Stalkers. Ooh, at least tries to. At least does try to here. We're just committing to mass ling. It's just mass ling, a handful of roaches to support. Dark with an overwhelming army here. Hive halfway done. Again, the Hive tech will be for Adrenal to support these lings. And Lemon backs up. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It feels like Lemon's been a little bit scarred from the last game. He's like, he hasn't been able to be as assertive as he once was in this series. Has to pull back. Ling run back comes in, would take down the shield battery, but only the shield battery. Again, this time Lemon, he is more defensive. He's able to hold on to his bases. Colossus production has commenced. The downside here is that, again, Lemon is giving Dark a lot more freedom this time. A lot more map control. Dark, he keeps tabs on these Stalkers at the same time. Big Link counter-attack towards the left-hand side. Lemon is being pulled apart. Shield battery, it goes down. Not like this. Does go down. Biles, they connect with the Zealots. And can we bring the base down as well? That's the question. The Stalkers, they haven't come back home. Oh, they haven't turned around. This Nexus will fall. Can we snipe a base ourselves? We're trying to go for it, but we have plenty of reinforcements. And we force a recall. And Lemon, unfortunately, he lost the base and he didn't get a base for himself. Trying to retake his fourth, but it's going to go down. Lemon just stuck perpetually here on 3 Nexi. Forever stuck on 3 bases. Not like this. Not like this, man. he is building up his Colossus count, that's true, and I mean, winding it back to game 1, we had a similar story where Dark was pulling his opponent apart. If Lemon can build up a death ball of an army with Immortals, Archons, Colossus, then sure, we can eventually go for a big all-in. But we're still a ways away from that, is the problem. We're still a ways away, we still don't have a 4th. The Lings, they come back in. Over and over again. Just never giving Lemon any room to breathe. Here's the walls on the wall. The Lings, they slip into the natural base. Probes are going down. Not like this. 12 workers fall. We slip into the main as well. Lemon not turning back around. Are we pushing? This might be a good moment here because we're losing too much back at home. That's going to be 19 dead workers, 20 dead workers. And yeah, we're pushing. This is it. This is the all-in. Lemon, it's all or nothing. The Colossus! No, not a good start. The Colossus goes down. We pick one off. There's 2 left. Only 2 left. Oh, there we go. Now we have a 3rd. Could have been 4, but we do have 3. It's all or nothing here for Lemon. Now it's mainly Lings for Dark. Depending on these swipes. Oh, God, but here come the Vipers. The Vipers, they have arrived. We'll go for the Yoinks. We get 1, we get 2. Oh, and we get the 3rd Colossus as well. And the army, it's getting picked apart. Focus on the high-tech units. The Stalkers are being forced back as well. Now, Dark did lose all of his Lings. A lot more Stalkers are coming in. We dive on top of the army, but we have plenty of reinforcements. And Dark, he had a rough time in game 1. He had a rough time transitioning out of his all-in, and we saw Lemon being so greedy in that first game, but here in game 2 and even in game 3, Dark has been hyper aggressive. I do like it. I do like that Dark, he's recognized the greed that Lemon got away with in that first game, and he's punishing it so much. He's able to pull Lemon left and right, punish his move outs. And now Dark, he has a massive advantage. Lemon just now getting his 4th base back up and running. Worker count, he's keeping up with his opponent. The problem here is that Lemon, he lost his Immortals, his Colossi, all of his Robotech units. He has only Stalkers and Zealots left, and really only Stalkers remain. As we force back these Stalkers, GG gets called. There's nothing left here for Lemon, and Dark will take the series 2-1. GG. Oh. GG, well played. Whew. Dark again. Dark again. A little bit upset after that first game. Does make up for it. Does bounce back. Does take the series. GG. GG, well played. With that, Dark advances on into the next round where he has his opponent ready and waiting. It is going to be Dark versus Hero. Let's go. Let us go. And as we wait for the players to conduct their vetoes, we can go over the bracket, because I believe we have a couple of updates. I believe we can go over some of these results. We can go over the results here. From the top, of course, Dark going to be facing him against Hero. Vetoes are currently underway, and we'll definitely keep an eye on that next series. Scrolling down, we already spoke about it, but Nightmare did take down Beyond 2-0 once again. Again, Nightmare has been popping off in the PvT matchup. Unfortunately, Nightmare's worst matchup is Protoss versus Zerg, so I wish him the best of luck against Solar, because Solar is going to be favored in that series. Coffee taking a game off of Solar. Very nicely done. We haven't been able to cast him too much, but Coffee, if you've been seeing his results these past couple of weeks, like, he has been popping off against the Koreans. Like, he has been taking maps and taking series. Really cool to see Coffee forcing the ace match there against Solar. Scrolling down a little bit further, Cyan to a Classic. If you remember, I did mention at the start of the night that Cyan versus Classic was going to be a spicy one, and how much Cyan has been improving over the past year. Like, there's a reason why Cyan recently got picked up by Mystery Gaming. Cyan is on fire. There's a reason why Cyan will be a part of IM Katowice, as he qualified over Korean players to actually make it into IM Katowice. So again, if you're maybe unfamiliar, if you don't tune into the weeklies, you would know that players like Firefly and Cyan they're very much so in form, and they are threats. They are threats here to players like Classic, to players like Nightmare, even DRG, Dark, Hero. They do have to be aware. I mean, following that, right? Even here, Cure versus Cyan. Cure, he's known for his TVP, and Cyan took a game. Again, like, Cyan's been popping off, and to 2-0 Classic to take a game off of Cure, this is not easy. Not easy to do whatsoever. So very impressive stuff there by Cyan, and really cool to see him really peaking right now, because Cyan is going to be competing, of course, in a couple of weeks in IM Katowice. So very important that Cyan is in form for that tournament. And again, like, if you're touring Classic, if you're forcing Cure to the ace match, Cyan is one to keep an eye on in that tournament. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I'm really curious to see, like, who he can bring down, like how he performs against everyone else at IM. And then we have, towards the bottom half of the bracket, pure TVTs. Oliveira took down Shin 2-1, did go to the ace match. That would have been a really good, really spicy TVT as well. Did go all the way to game number 3. And we have pure TVTs here towards the lower half of the bracket. We have Oliveira versus Gumiho into Cure to determine which Terran is going to face off against any of these other players here. We have a Terran confirmed for the finals, but who will it be to face off against the Terran? A Protoss or a Zerg? That's the question. That is the question here. As we are getting ready for that ZVP, looks like vetoes are underway. They are underway, and we will soon dive into that. But yes, as people are saying, yes, Dark is poised to go to the military soon, which is the big reason why we believe that DKZ did let Dark go, why the contract wasn't renewed. That is because Dark, his time with us in StarCraft is a little bit limited because his military service is right around the corner. That's the big theory as to why Dark did end up leaving DKZ. Likewise, there are also rumors that Dark is going to be joining a team and representing a team specifically for IEM. I don't know if that's going to extend past IEM. We have seen it before, where teams, they sponsor a player for like one tournament, or for like one period, and or like a tournament specifically. So that might be happening with Dark as well, where Dark might be rocking up at IEM Katowice, repping a team, which will be exciting. But again, it might just be for IEM. Again, we still don't know the exact time and date when Dark will go to the military. We're not privy to that information. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see with what happens with that. As we are keeping up here. Pretty sure Hero has lost multiple games just this month, crippling economic damage from Lings and Bane slipping through the wall. Kind of. I mean, this month has been amazing for Hero. I don't know if you've been watching. If not, I recommend the VODs. We spent the entire month casting Masters Colosseum. And Hero popped off. Hero proving, and I mean, I'm talking about one of our players here. Hero proving that he has arguably the best PvZ in the world. Better than Classic, better than Max Packs, better than Showtime. Hero in Master Colosseum took down every top tier Zerg player out there except for one. Like, Hero had an amazing performance this month, but we can get into that as we can get into that later. As we can get into this series, Hero now spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Alkione. We have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right hand corner, a player that's very hot right now, off of the back of a wild Masters Colosseum 7 run, the Blue Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. Oh, again, bottom left is teamless. I think I may have said his team name again. My apologies. It is Hero. And again, Dark is very fond of this. Shouldn't be a surprise whatsoever, but Dark is going for the goal base once again. He did this against Lemon, he does this as often as possible, and we'll see how Hero does respond to it. As he comes in with a probe scout, and looking at his vision, Hero hasn't confirmed this yet. is, for the time being, a little bit in the dark. See what I did there? As the probe is going to be rotating back over, Cybercore is on the way, and Hero should be checking this location. He does. There we go. He does confirm the hatchery. He's aware of the goal base that is in production as we speak. And we'll see how Hero does try to punish this. Again, this is very Dark-esque, and Hero, is he going to fake out a cannon rush? Gonna fight him with the probes as the Maynard has arrived, and Hero will pull back. Now again, the question becomes, how can we punish this? Last time we, of course, saw this was a couple of games ago against Lemon, where Dark was able to snowball into a Ling Roach Queen all-in. Wasn't able to kill Lemon, was able to kill the third base though. Did have a harder time transitioning from there. We have seen a lot of Twilight Council responses to this, a lot of Glaive Adepts, for example, a lot of DT openers, so I'm curious if Hero will embrace that as, yep, here we go, that is a Robo. That is going to be a Robo opener here out of Hero. Very interesting. This could lead into a Disruptor drop. This could lead into Disruptors. I'm curious. So yeah, I'm not used to seeing this as an opener here to punish Dark, but this is a very aggressive opener nonetheless, and very unorthodox more than anything. Disruptors would be an interesting one. Disruptors feel really risky though, like as I think about it. Disruptor drops, they can do amazingly when it comes to harassing, but this is leading into an all-in is the problem, and we're gonna have that much less to defend. Prism is on the way. Yep, there's the Bay. It is gonna be a Disruptor drop. Okay, let him cook, Papi. Let him cook. I'm ready. So Disruptor drops, they're a bit of a give and take here. They have a lot of potential, of course, to deal damage. Meanwhile, that is a 3-minute 35 Roach Warren. We are going all in. We're going for a big Roach Queen Ling push. As creep is being spread across the map, Dark is being hyper aggressive with this. What I'm concerned about is that Disruptors, they can do amazingly when it comes to harassing, but if they don't get any damage done, then you can struggle to defend. The reason for this, of course, is that Disruptors can be dead supply. Once the Nova goes off, what else do you have left? What do you have left once the Nova is on cooldown? Then you have barely anything to defend, barely anything to survive. So we'll see if Hero can make this worth it. And so we go. Disruptors are on the way, and Prison Speed is on the way as well. Reps are moving out. Things are keeping up here with Hero. Hero going to be shading towards that natural. Oh my god. And we're going to be able to commit here. We're going to be able to make use of these shields as we do micro back, keep the Adepts alive as Hero does pull back. And we do end up recalling back home. We recall back home just so we can quickly load up these Disruptors, get across the map, and get those Novas going. Meanwhile, Dark behind this, interesting, going for a lair. He of course is aware of the robo-based opener because of the prism. He should be able to piece together that, I mean, it could still be glaives in his mind. We're still making more roaches. Creep is being spread. Dark, he's been droning. He makes roaches for safety here. He's been droning instead, which means Hero is safe back at home. He's throwing down a shield battery. He's starting up a Colossus, but here comes the Novas. Here come the Novas right for the mineral line. Up. Ooh, and big connection. 7 drones go down. Dark, not quite able to pay attention. They're not quite able to react in time. And suddenly, just like that, Hero, not in a bad position. These Disruptors are already starting to pay for themselves. They are already starting to pay for themselves here. Big Novas go off. And we're not done. More Novas will connect. They go for the Queen. Queen goes down. And again, Dark has been droning. Like, instead of going for the all-in, it looks like he was taking a more defensive stance after seeing the Adepts. And it looks like maybe he assumed that it was going to be Glaive Adepts. Behind this, get into Lair Tech, into Roach Speed. Dark is amassing an army. He's cutting workers here at 47. Dark is not droning any further. But the Novas were going off again. Up! Ooh, as we barely don't get the Queen. But again, Dark, he is not droning. He has, as soon as the Novas went off, as soon as they connected here, he resaturated the gold, and then bam, into Ling Roach. Into pure Ling Roach, and Hero, can he survive the all-in? Can he defend? He's out in the open, shield battery isn't ready. We're going for the Colossus. We're going straight for that army. We collapse on it, Colossus being focused down, and it will fall. Hero caught with his pants down. He gets completely surrounded. There's no blink. There's no blink whatsoever. And the Disruptors is the danger of this opener. The Disruptors, they're not back at him to defend. They're not here. And Hero, his supply plummets. The base gets cancelled. And Dark can keep on pushing. Overcharge is popped. We have a couple of Disruptors to defend. How good are the splits? Up. So far, the first Nova is avoided. Up. Second Nova does take down 2 Roaches. Third Nova. Another handful of Roaches go down, but we still have an overwhelming army. You bust through into the natural base. Another Nova will connect, but it may just be too much. The gateway falls. We get on top of the army as well. Blink is now done. But we focus down so many Disruptors. There are 3 left. Nova gets baited out. Now with these Stalkers, with this positioning, Hero, he's going to be able to hold on to his natural. Hold on a little bit longer. Can a Hero survive though? Can he force this back? As Dark, he's still just flooding Lings across the map. Again, there's just no shield battery, no overcharge. A bit of friendly fire there as well. I mean, we had to, and there's just nothing left. The boys, they have to be pulled here against the Lings, against the Roaches. And Dark, he's snowballing out of control. Takes down 19 probes. Soon to be 20. GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, very risky there for Hero to go for a Robo Opener as a response. I do think that Robo Openers are really good in macro games, if against standard openers, because you can harass, and then your opponent, again, most likely wouldn't be going all in. That's the big danger you kind of put yourself in with these Robo Openers, with these Disruptor drops, is you have so much less to defend back at home. Your blink is delayed, your third base is going to be delayed. There's so much that is delayed, and as a result, Dark was able to hit him before it could really get things going. GG, well played. Also unfortunate that Hero didn't see the all-in, right? He was caught out of position. His Stalkers and his Colossus were out in the open. No shield battery to support them either, and the Disruptors were across the map. So Hero just misreading the situation, didn't get eyes on the all-in, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Dark does take game number 1. Does take the first game. And now we're getting into game number 2. What science race? Protoss. Protoss. The Protoss Triad have been improving quite a lot over in the land of, in the Chinese scene. Players like Cyan, Firefly, and Jeshi. Yeah, they've been popping up all year, all of 2023. They've all been improving at their own pace, some more than others. We're big Firefly fans here. But regardless, we are now getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of side Delta, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing himself, currently teamless. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming, his ex-teammate. It is Hero. And again, we're going to be spawning into a map that doesn't have a goal base. Dark, not going to be too fancy, rushing into any kind of fast gold into an all-in. Not really what he does on a map like Side Delta. But a nice start here for Dark. Ooh, hello drone. As the drone is moving out across the map. Now, we saw this against Lemon, if you recall, in game number 2. Where Dark, he's very fond of going for proxy hatches. Now, this should be a hatch block in the mineral line. This shouldn't be a proxy hatch outside just because of the ramp, the point of elevation. We're just going to be waiting a little bit and then diving in for that hatchery on the low ground. Now, the goal here is not for the hatchery to finish. The goal is to delay the expansion. We delay the Nexus for as long as possible. We should be forcing voids to be pulled, and there we go. 4 extra probes are being pulled. Zelda's being forced out. and the Nexus is delayed. This is very similar to something like the eBay block in TVP, just a way to disrupt the opener of the Protoss. Again, Dark should be eventually cancelling this. He could try to morph in an Evo chamber underneath it, just to delay even further, and then go into the main base for a gas steal. Meanwhile, back at home, we're going for a fortress. I love this. We're going for a forge response here from Hero. Dark, he does not see the forge yet. He's coming in with the Overlord. Pylons are on the way. Boys are being pulled, only a handful of them though. Force a cancel. We do force a cancel on that hatchery. Pylon finishes. And can we get a cannon up? Can we get it? Looks like we will defend. Oh, but as I say that, the Zealot gets across the map. He's crazy. Oh my god, and so much lost mining time. We only have 7 workers in the main. Cannon has been thrown down, but we do get a nice round on it. The probe falls, we force a cancel, and Dark... Ooh. Actually, I was going to say Dark has defended. Creep is spreading. There's no more room for cannons. Not anymore. Or is there? Oh. Yeah, no more cannons here, just a pylon, but we deny any kind of mining here at the natural. On top of that, remember, all those drones were pulled and all those workers were not mining for so long. So much damage dealt here to Dark. Really punishing the hatch block. So a bit of a give and take when it comes to the economy. You can see the economy now swing heavily in favor of Hero because of so much lost mining time. So not a bad start here from Hero. Not a bad way to counteract the opener of Dark. Meanwhile, Adepts stay shaded to the main. 2 Adepts do one-shot workers. We get 1, we get 2, we get 3. Oh, we get a 4th. 4 drones for 2 Adepts. Good trade. A good trade here for Hero. The downside after losing those Adepts is that your third base is delayed, but it was going to be delayed anyway because we're still taking our natural. As it is going to be a Stargate opener. Now, as a reminder, this tech is delayed. The Stargate is later than normal. I mean, this game in general is very wonky. It's very there's a lot of twists, there's a lot of turns. It's not the cleanest of games where we're getting down and dirty in the mud. I'm here for it. I like to watch. As Dark is going to be flooding links across the map. Oh, no shield battery, by the way. Uh-oh. No shield battery. No other units. Adepts, they're racing back home. Zelda's going to be going down. Oh. Zealot is going to be falling. We get good surface area here on this pylon. We catch the Adepts as well. Dark getting a lot of damage done here. Yeah, picks off 2 Adepts. That Dark is relentless. More Lings on the way. Behind this, he's taking his third base. But he's continuing to apply pressure. Just keeping Hero on the back foot. As Hero does spot the Lings, but he does ignore them. He's moving out with his Oracles. Does want to try to get some damage done across the map. Do have a Spore in the natural, a Spore in the main base. The Queen count is very low. Again, because of the late expansion, because of how chaotic this game has been, the Queens, there's only 2 of them. Soon to be 4, but even then, very low Queen count. As the Oracle dips in, gets eyes on the Evo chamber. Stage trap goes off. Only 1 drone gets caught. And soon, Hero should be looking to expand. We should soon be seeing a third base. +1 is on the way to make use of that forge. And there we go. Hero is now in position, primed to take his third. He's got Adepts, he's got his Oracle. This is a little bit risky to move out, as he does expose his third base. But the Adepts are pushing. They are revealed to the Overlord. Dark is racing back home. Again, Dark has to respect the Adepts. 2 Oracles, of course, they one-shot workers as well. They're going to be threatening the bases here of Dark. So we do pick off a couple of drones. 3 workers do go down. Behind this, we have our follow-up, our tech transition, Twilight Council, Robo should be +1 and Blink on the horizon. We could embrace Charge, but there it is. Blink is indeed on the way. Hero just settling into his 3-waste economy. Dark looking to do the same. You can also see that Dark is going for Roaches, not going for Banelings. So, Ling, Roach, Ravager. Okay, it is Dark's go-to. Oh, as we do catch one of these Oracles. A lot of damage is dealt. Again, big overextension there from Hero. Did get caught out. And despite the lower Queen count, Dark is able to force back the army and force back the Oracle. Good stuff overall. Ooh, behind this we're going for a bit of a gateway explosion. Interesting. So we have 4 gateways already done. 4 more gates on the way. That's going to be 8 gates in total. That's quite an insane amount here. With 8 gateways, we should be pushing on 3 bases. And there we go. We have the War Prism on the way. And Hero is going to be committing here to his Blink Stalker aggression. Before that does occur, I love this setup here. He moves in, clears up a lot of creep with that Observer, with those Adepts. Paving the way here for his eventual Blink Stalkers. No 4th base, by the way. We should be seeing a 4th base soon. If we don't, I mean, we're just doubling down on the 3 base all in. Stalkers are warping in. We have charge behind this. Again, a Swarm Toss composition. What I mean by Swarm Toss is just pure gateway units. No Robo, no Immortals, no Colossus, no Disruptors, no Storm. Just Zealots and Stalkers. And Oracles to support. Flaking Harass does threaten the 3rd base. A handful of Lings. Observer gets sniped. Very nice pile. But again, you can see the massive amount of Stalkers that are going to be reinforcing. So far, good Blinks here out of Hero. Trading very nicely here against the Lings. Pile's going to be slowing this down. Have a couple of Ravagers here as well. You can see Hero starting to just refine his army that much more. Immortal on the way. Still no 4th, by the way. These are coming first around, but massive stasis traps. They do go off. And Hero, he still maintains this position. He can keep on pushing. 4th base and now gets thrown down. It's late, but it is on the way. He does keep the pressure up at the same time. Zealot run by here towards the south. Charge just now finishing. No 4th base to really threaten. We get into the mineral line instead, and we force back those Lings. A big reaction that exposes the base. Dark is being pulled apart. He respects these Zealots, but that means that this base is going to go down. Big pick off there by Hero. Hero now up a base compared to his opponent. Compared to his Zerg player. Protoss ahead in bases against a Zerg. Not something you want to be seeing. As Dark is in trouble. What's also worrisome is that the Stalker count is still quite healthy. Hero has to be wary about a surround. He will pull back. And again, just a really mature decision here out of Hero. Like, he doesn't have to keep pushing. He doesn't have to push into the 3rd. He's already ahead. Hero, he's already ahead. Just has to deny the 4th over and over again as he rotates back around, looking for the 4th base. Gets the Spore. Prism tries to get to the main base, but we have Queens in position. And Hero should get eyes on the new 4th base momentarily here of Dark. Once he does, he should be rotating over. Coming for a scout, gets a relation. Oh, we'll lose the Oracle though. Does get eyes on the Hive. Adrenal is on the way. Infestors have arrived. These Infestors are a great way to counteract Stalkers because with Fungals, you can't blink. You cannot blink out of a Fungal. I mean, you can avoid a Fungal, but once it does connect, you are locked down. Great way to deal with that army. Behind this, the Vipers are amassing. Speaking of higher tech units, we have Disruptors. Disruptors are on the way for Hero, and we are committing here to a push. The army is spotted. How many Vipers do we have? We have 2. 2 Vipers that, for the most part, topped up. Oh, they're going for the Prism. Up! They're going for the War Prism, and it will go down. Good pick off there. At the same time, the Fungals. Fungals do connect. The Piles as well. Good stuff for Dark. very good start, and Hero is here overextending. The Lings, they come in first round, they collapse on the Immortals. The Immortals are going to be going down here, and Hero, he's going to be losing too much. All of his high-tech units, they will go down. The Immortals fall. Hero, he had a good start. He denied the 4th base, but here he pushes in too soon before he had any disruptor. Speaking of the disruptor, zones back the army. But Dark, he takes a massive economic lead. That was brutal. Look at the trades here. Dark, he lost mainly Lings, a couple of Infestors, but he got 3 Immortals. He got 12 Stalkers, 16 Zealots. Big trades here. 2 Archons. A big loss for Hero, and now Hero, suddenly, he's the one in trouble. Dark is about to max. Dark, he's about to max out. He's about to push out across the map. And Hero needs to reinforce. He's got a handful of disruptors. He has 3 of them. He's trying to get a 5th base up and running. Hero needs to slow the game down. But how can he? I mean, we could go for disruptor drops. We could try to go for zealot run-bys just to keep the army back at home. Dark, he's droning, he's taking up into Hydra Lurker Viper. Dark's drone count is actually quite low, so he's still focusing on resaturating his bases. He's waiting for some upgrades. He is giving Hero a little bit of time. He's giving Hero quite a bit of time right now. Because Dark was up, what, 40, 50 supply earlier. Hero remaxing. His army is still a little bit lackluster. It would be great to see more High Templar and Storm incorporated to deal with those spellcasters, specifically the Vipers. Right now, it does feel like the Vipers are uncontested, as we have 4 of them in between the bases. And sure, we have a lot of disruptors, but the Vipers will make short work of that. So here we go. Hero going to be threatening a push. Like, from this game state, Hero, he is remaxing. Meanwhile, Dark is working towards Hydra Lurker Viper. Lurker tech is on the way. We're not there yet. Not there yet. Soon we will. And again, Hero has recovered. Hero, he was in a bit of trouble earlier after losing all of his army, but Dark didn't press his advantage. Dark, he was a little bit more defensive here, and as a result, the 5th base is up and running. Hero, he's still ahead in the economy. Hero is still looking good. Prism going to be coming in. The Zealot Rabbi doesn't quite find a lot of damage though. Yeah, it's going to go down. Prism does fall. Hero pushing towards the north. Does catch quite a lot of Lingbane. Do you have storms? No storms, but we have a High Templar for feedbacks. Feedbacks are available. Dark setting up a beautiful concave here, coming from behind, catching the Stalkers. The Banelings, they take down a High Templar. Disruptor goes down as well. Show us the yoinks. And every single disruptor, oh my god, one Nova will connect. But it looks like we still have too many Archons. The Colossus pushes through. Hero, he's getting ground. Meanwhile, Dark is remaxing on Ling Hydra. Hydras are on the way. That wasn't a bad fight for Hero, but he did lose a lot of disruptors in the process. Hero is committing, takes down a base. Decent feedbacks on the Queens. Novas go up. Again, focusing on Queens. Bailey's, they come in from behind. They collapse here on some of those disruptors. On the Stalkers as well. The Hydras are looking exposed. Here we go for the blink. The Blinding Clouds. Clutch Blinding Clouds from Dark. Takes down the Colossus. Forces back the army. But Dark, he's still hurting. He's still bled out a lot. Lurkers are on the way. If we can get into Lurker tech, we can hold on. We can survive. We can slow the game down. Dark, he needs time to get into his economy. Dark, he's still down in workers. is still down in workers here. Meanwhile, we already have a Spire. I love that Darky is basically ready for Skytoss, or getting ready for Skytoss in the back of his mind. Zelarama comes in. Drone's going to be forced away. Hero taking his own 6th Nexus. Dark is still trying to get his 6th base up running as well. Speaking of, it goes down. Once again, Hero, he's up in bases. And again, Dark, he's still licking his wounds. He's still trying to recover. His lack of economy is hurting him. It's killing him. And Hero, he's doubling down on ground toss. Immortals. Immortals, they don't fare too badly against lurkers. Speaking of lurkers, they have arrived. Good abductions, good yoinks. You get 2 Archons. Hero rotating around. Does rotate around here. Some of these soldiers do get caught out. At the same time, those Zealous, they do bust into the mineral line. Drones are falling. You see Hero trying to find another way in. Storm, it grazes the army. The High Templar! Oh my god. They almost go down. As we abduct another Immortal, another 2 Immortals. Oh my god. Very nicely done. Good trades here by Dark. But he does lose 12 drones back at home, or back towards the south. Does lose a lot of workers. Hero, he's on 91 probes. Oh my god. Arguably too many probes at this point. Arguably too many. It is going to be hurting his overall army supply. There's a bit too much supply in his economy, in his workers. As you see here, pushing in decent storms on the lurkers. Dark coming in from behind. He gets us around the Lings. They do collapse here on the Disruptors, on the Stalkers as well. A big engagement here as Hero, he gets caught out. He gets swallowed up completely. And Dark, he's getting his revenge. He may have fallen to Hero in Masters Coliseum, but here in ESL Open Cup Asia, he's popping off. Punished the opener in game 1. Here in game number 2, just catching Hero out of position. Hero had a good start. Remember, he was able to snipe bases. He was able to cripple the economy. Even here, his Zealots are still getting some damage done, but he will lose an entire base. 22 probes go down. Trading a base for a base, but what is the answer here to these lurkers? What is the answer to the Vipers? As we are pushing on further. There's no Sky Toss for Hero. And trying to pull off ground toss against mass lurker like this, it's so difficult. Good feedbacks on the Vipers overall, but the lurkers, they're just going to town on this army. Just bullying Hero back. Behind this, Dark, was just cleaning up the run by his reinforcing. And again, Hero, he's burning through his bank. May have had the better economy for most of this game, but doesn't matter, not anymore. Dark, he takes down the 5th, took down the 6th earlier, he's going for the 4th. He's going for the final mining bases here. These Hydras are getting caught out. Bit of an overextension from Dark. Leads out some of those Hydras, but the lurkers, they keep on pushing. Chelsonovas. Oh my god! Never connects towards the end, but 2 Disruptors did go down to the spines. Did go down to lurkers. Speaking of, lurkers are being reset. We do clean up a lot of them. 4th base is going to be going down. The Hero knocked down to 3 bases. Barely any mining, barely an economy. Hero is all in. The army supplies are comparable. That's something a little bit worrisome here. The armies are pretty comparable with each other. Hero can still take this. But show us the yoinks. Oh, we got one. Got a Disruptor. It does go down. But we have the section. Ooh, we catch the lurkers. We pick off 2 of the lurkers. Looking at the unit tab, we have 9 lurkers left. They're in position. Ooh, pushing these lurkers is going to be brutal, but we do push in. We shut them down. We are now down to 5 lurkers left, and they're across the map. And Hero, he can still pull this off in this base trade. He's looking for more bases. Doesn't come across any. Lurkers are on the way. 6 more lurkers back at home. Oh my god, that's a lot of lurkers. Hero turning back around. He has bottom left. He has a base. He has a mining base. That's what's important right now. Hero has mining. So does Dark. Also has bottom right. 1 lurker going to town. Hero looks like he wants to go for the kill. He wants to go for this final fight here, but I mean, this is ideal for Dark. He has how many lurkers in total? 11. 11 lurkers in position. Or 10 even. Oh, we're pushing on in, but so many spine shots going to be going off. Big storm. Big storm on the lurkers. The boys, they're being pulled. But it looks like Hero, he barely has enough. He breaks through the lurkers. GG gets called. And Hero will fight back. He will force the ace match. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very close game there. Again, Dark, he was popping up. He was shutting down bases. He caught the army multiple times. And Hero was forced all in. He was forced completely all in. And barely was able to pull it off there. Barely was able to catch a lot of lurkers exposed on their own without any support. And Hero, he barely clutches it out. GG. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. We're going the distance. All the way, Papi. All the way. Let's go. All the way to game number 3. And our map of choice is going to be Oceanborn. It's been a very chaotic series so far. I mean, I'd be happy to see either one of these players advance on. You know, they're both fan favorites. Dark, best Zerg player in Korea. Hero, best Protoss in the world right now, or at least in Korea. And it looks like we have some other updates, actually. It looks like we have some semifinals on the way, and some basically every other matchup has concluded. Lower semifinals is currently in progress, currently mid-series. And we already have a player ready and waiting for the winner of this best of. Here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the red Zerg player, currently teamless, but amazing nonetheless. The best Zerg in South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Hero. Best Protoss in Korea, arguably the best Protoss in the world right now. Hero being forced all the way to the ace match. It is a shame that Dark and Hero have to face off this early on. It would be great to see them in the semis or even in the finals. Alas, they do have to face off far earlier than that, unfortunately. Dark goes for the unnatural natural. This time there's no hatch block. This time there's no disruption of the opener. Remember, last game was just a really weird one. It was just a really uncomfortable game for everyone involved, because it started off, if you remember, with a hatch block in the natural of Hero. Then Hero responded with a cannon rush, and then Dark responded with like a Ling Flood, and then Hero, his tech was delayed going to fast pulse one attack. It was a weird game. It was great. It was beautiful. That's all we want. Just very chaotic from the beginning. Very chaotic, and we'll see if the chaos continues in the ace match in game number 3. Sorry, sneezing. Sneezing. Well, we are settling into this, and for the time being, standard openers. It was a Hatchgas pool out of Dark, likewise a Gate Expand out of Hero, getting into his Stargate opener. It's going to be a Stargate opener, should be Oracle, should be into a third base. So far, again, the openers haven't been too wild at a hero. I mean, Alcyone was different, but that's the exception. Just because Dark was rushing into the gold, that led into Hero going for a chaotic and wild opener himself. Now, Stargate into Aura. Meanwhile, you have an abundance of Lings on the way here for Dark, taking these adepts very seriously. Again, Dark has been very Ling heavy throughout this series. Very Ling heavy. As we do see, speaking of Lings, they do slip into the bases. Likewise, Adept trying to wreak havoc here does get one drone kill. Dev gets one worker. Meanwhile, across the map, Dark looking for a probe kill as well. Ooh, does get one. We do trade 1-for-1 here between our players. Oh, that Ling is going to be shut down. We get into our openers. Interesting wall-off here from Hero, is what I will say. Very interesting, as the Overlord is going to be shut down, and we will soon be expanding and taking our third. It is for trying to. Dark doing his best to punish this Stalker. Oh. Trying to catch Hero out. Likewise, once again, behind this, we have an abundance of Lings on the way. The goal here, most likely, is to shut down the Adept and then to counterattack and try and deny that third base. Dark is joining up behind this. Spores are on the way. Queens are getting in position. We have 2 Queens here in the main, 2 Queens here at the third. Our Natural's a little bit more exposed, but there's no mining going on here. Don't need any Queens in position, as the Oracles, they have hit the field. And again, Dark, he has his full C, needs to defend. Oh! As we do find some damage here at the Natural. At the same time, Lings, they go for a big counterattack, but we have Adepts in position. Good defense by Hero. Shades towards that third. And he will focus on some drones. Oh! Gets 3, gets 1, gets 5! Oh my god. 5 workers go down. Of course, 2 of them were to the Oracles. Bear that in mind. But the Adepts, they did do quite a lot here. As he was just keeping Dark pinned back at home. Again, able to defend, able to get his third base up and running. Does dive into that main. Gets another 2 drones and gets the hell out of there. Behind this, we have a standard follow-up. It's going to be a Twilight Council alongside a Forge. It's going to be +1 and Blink, I imagine. Charge is always on the table, but Blink has been favored so far this series by Hero. I'm sure the trend will continue. Hero, ooh, doesn't quite deny the production. A little bit too late to focus on those drones. Gets 1 extra worker here. As Hero once again going for a bit of a gateway explosion. Okay. We have 2 gateways done. Sorry, we have 4 gateways done. 2 more on the way. 6 in total. Not as many as we saw previously. If you remember, it was an 8-gate Blinkstalker pressure from Hero on side Delta. Oh, but we have made an extra Oracle. Oh my god. A couple of extra Oracles, actually. Okay, we have 5 Oracles here for Hero. Likewise, behind this, Hydrogen on the way for Dark. Okay, going Ling Hydra. It's going to be his response, his reaction to the Mass Oracle. So far, these Oracles haven't done much. We sustain a bit of hull damage. We rotate around. We get eyes on the Hydrogen. Big scout there from Hero. Does confirm. As the Oracles rotate around, and we will cancel this 4th. Good damage. They cancel the 4th, pick up a couple of drones. 4 workers in total. Stage trap in the main, only catches 1 drone. And again, the Hydra Den has been confirmed by Hero. Now, how do we respond? We do have some Stalkers, but Stalkers, they struggle against Ling Hydra. Ling Hydra can trade very nicely against Stalkers. Typically need support, splash damage of some kind, Archon, Storm, Colossus Disruptors, even Zealots. Even Zealots can help. Speaking of, charge is on the way. The Ling Roach Hydra has been seen, has been confirmed. Hero going to be pulling back. Behind this, very fast Robo, or a much faster Robo and Robotics Bay here from Hero. So a much quicker transition into splash damage, which again makes sense. Makes plenty of sense for Hero. Based on what he's seen, based on what he has scouted. Does dip in, shaving off a couple of units here and there. Doesn't really intend to overcommit, to push in. He has his stage straps behind this army as well, just to fall back to. As Hero is just stabilizing back at home, setting everything up. Cannons, shield batteries, oracles, they dive in once again, getting another 3 drones. Oh, even getting a queen. The transfuse. Not enough. The queen does go down. The oracles, they take a lot of damage. But look at the efficiency. Look at the trades. Oh my god. The oracles, they recall back home. I was checking to see if a single oracle has died. Not a single one. It's been 2 adepts, 1 probe for 17 drones. Queen, Lings, Overlords, the denial on the 4th base as well. Just the efficiency from Hero has been crazy so far. And now we have survived and we've gotten into Colossi. I was really concerned about the Hydra tech and that it may catch Hero off guard, but again, he's got his Colossus already. Extend the Lance on the way. We have Immortal production behind this. I like that we only made 2 Colossus. I love it because there's not that many Hydras. There's not that many Hydras. It's mainly Roach, and we're getting to Lurkers. And Immortals, they have their place against both Roaches and Lurkers. I mean, it was the Immortals that was able to break through the Lurkers in that last game, in game number 2. Here we go. We are pushing in. Dark setting up a surround. Oh, there's no prism. The Colossus, they do overextend. 1 goes down and so does the 2nd. Big catch here for Dark. Resets the Colossus count. Again, Hero pushing in before Extend Thermal Lance finishes. And of course, without a Warp Prism. Behind this, Hero taking another base. But he has lost a lot of map control. He's trying to push in, but Dark gets caught by a stasis. Ay. Never mind. As the Stalkers, they do try to escape here, but the Hydras, they cut them off. We do focus on as many Hydras as we can, but we will lose so many Stalkers. The efficiency of Hero is suddenly not quite there. Oracle's going to be falling. Colossi, Stalkers as well. Dark, he's snowballing out of control. He's killed so many hijack units. Now is the time to push. 6 Lurkers on the way. Vipers are gathering energy. Hero is in a lot of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Again, 1 bad fight can just snowball out of control. That was a bad fight with the Colossus earlier. Here we go. Dark is max. He's pushing. Hero, he's down 40 supply. Do we have Storm? We do. Okay, so Hero has Storm. He has Immortals. We can't waste them though. Big stasis. Big stage trap does go off. Good Storm Shield on the Hydras and the Lings. Oh my god. We have, I want to say, 3 more Storms in the chamber now too. As the Storms, they get thrown down here on the Red Trapjaw once again. Good abductions, good yoinks. But these have been some beautiful Storms out of Hero. But no more Storms left. We are running out of Storms here. Lings, they do collapse on top of these Stalkers. But Hero is holding. He's surviving. He's holding on. Zealot denies the 5th. He denies the 6th even. Big revelation on the army. Zealots, they get caught out by the reinforcements. And Darky rotates around and is looking for another way in. We're still building up those Immortals. Hero, he's almost tied up the supply. He's catching up. We're getting there. Coming in from behind. Overcharge is popped. Hero collapsing here on these Lurkers. Nidus does go down. But Dark, he's breaking through. He's gaining ground here. Encroaching upon the most important mining base here of Hero. Meanwhile, Hero comes in from behind. Tries to surround this army, but he's out of Storms. Oh, a brutal engage here. And it looks like Hero, he barely doesn't have enough. Yeah, Stalkers go down, the Archons as well. We have 2 Lurkers left. And Dark, he barely holds on to this position. He cleans up the army, breaks through into the base. Again, Hero, he almost stabilized. He recalls the probes to safety. But he's down to 3 bases. And Dark is remaxed. He's remaxed already here with Ling Hydra. And the Knight is still off the Hydras. They come in from behind, catching out the Immortals. We get an Archon. We get the Immortals. And again, it was just too much for Hero to lose those Colossi earlier. The Bay has fallen. We yoink in what little is left here of these high-tech units. And Dark, he is getting his revenge. I called it a little bit early in game number 2. Did happen. But here in game 3, Dark, he's snowballing out of control. May have lost the Hero earlier in the week. But here, he does fight back. And GG gets called. Dark will take the series 2-1. Advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Dark. Again, he does get his revenge. And Dark and Hero typically they go back and forth. They do go back and forth here. Oh, in terms of series, last time they faced off, Hero did come out on top. Now Dark comes out on top. GG. Balance is all things should be as Dark advances on to the semifinals. And that means we have our semifinals ready for us. Not just that, but we have so much more here. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Hero was the one and only Protoss player left in the tournament. Now he is no longer here. Oh. He is no longer here, no longer with us as Solar 2-1 Nightmare. And this is what we were talking about earlier. Nightmare, he forced Solar to the ace match. Impressive. Despite the fact that Nightmare's weakest matchup is PvZ, still did take a map. So impressive stuff here by Nightmare. Is going to get knocked out. And now we have a ZVZ between Dark and Solar. The ZVZ is upon us. Meanwhile, in the lower half of the bracket, we had our TVT. Cure and Gumiho, they went to the ace match as well, went all the way to game number 3, and Cure took down Gumiho 2-1. Cure advances on to the grand finals, and Cure is waiting for his Zerg opponent. Again, my condolences to Hero and to the Protoss players out there. Again, to be fair though, honestly, if Hero took down Dark, I would have favored Hero against Solar, and Hero would have made his way into those finals. Solar versus Dark is going to be an interesting one though. Solar versus Dark is going to be closer. The reason why I say this is because Solar, he is much more adept at ZVZ. Like, he is the Serral sniper for a reason, the Serral Slayer even. Solar ZVZ is terrifying, so this could go either way. This could go either way here. It's hard to call who's favored between Dark and Solar. I think I want to give the edge to Dark, but the edge means we're probably going to the ace match. We're probably going all the way to game 3. All the way to game number 3 there to determine who faces off against Cure in those finals. In those finals. Here we go. As we are just setting things up, vetoes are underway. And we will soon have our semifinals upon us. And I guess we can set up those predictions. Predictions will soon be open. So you can place your bets on who you think will make it through. Again, we haven't really had any predictions so far in this tournament. But for the semis, we got you covered. Semifinals, best of 3. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a very short break. When we return, we'll have our semifinals ready for you. See you soon. Enjoy the break. Get some snacks. Get some water. Hydrate, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semi-finals of ESL Open Cup Asia number 212. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think the series will unfold. Good luck, best of luck in those predictions, because spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing CranKy Gaming. Oh, god damn it, I keep saying it because of the letters. The red Zerg, currently teamless. I need to... My brain is on autopilot right now. It is dark. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing onside, not teamless. It is Solar. I've been saying DKZ for so long. It's just a reflex. I have to be on it, Bobby. I have to be on it. Oh, we'll get there. As we're getting into our ZVZ here, so far standard openers. Hatch gas pool from both Solar and Dark. Nothing too out of the norm yet here as we load into Oceanborn. We shouldn't really be seeing anything too crazy in the openers here, outside of some of these other greedier maps like Golden Aura or Alkione or even Radisson Station, or even Site Delta actually, but we could be seeing some different variations. Outside of that, we should be seeing Hatch gas pool from everyone involved. We'll see if that continues to be the case here. So we are just settling in towards our mid game. Again, when it comes to ZVZ, Solar is a bit of a ZVZ specialist. I immediately say that just because he's one of the few players that have consistently, I say consistently, has been able to bring several down a couple more often than not when it matters most. You know, in WTL and these other big events. In recent times, though, I mean, that was the case maybe October, November, December of last year, or maybe September, October, November of last year is maybe the case, like a 3-year period. Since then, though, Cyril has been just refining his skill, has been leveling up so much, and Cyril, he's terrifying. He's terrifying nowadays. But Solar still, of course, is quite a threat in the Zerg versus Zerg matchup, and yeah, can he actually flex that skill here against Dark? We're here to see. We're here to see. For now, third bases are being taken from both players, both Solar and Dark. Bailey nests are on the way as well. Bailey nests are on the way as both players are going to be just poking in and out, just forcing each other back. A bit of a skirmish here with these lings. Oh, Dark is going to be losing one of said lings as well. Wait, sorry, Solar going to be losing one of his lings as well. So not a bad start. Not a bad start for Dark. Flexing his ling micro there. Oh, able to pull back. Behind this, we have a handful of lings going to be reinforcing for both players. Bailey nests are finishing up. Third bases are on the way. It looks like Dark is making a couple of extra lings here. But the bailings are being morphed back at home for both players. Looks like we're just going to be settling into 3-base saturation. Roach Warren thrown down for Solo already. We should soon be seeing one for Dark as well. There it is. Roach Warren is on the way. So we're kind of easing our way out of the Ling Bane portion of the ZVZ. We're getting into Roach v Roach. Roach versus Roach is going to be upon us. Is going to be here. So a relatively passive start to the series. Passive game 1. I expect more aggression in the following games, but for now things have been quite tame between our players. Roach production has commenced. The question becomes, when do we cut workers? Ooh, as Solar. I am curious. Bailing's going to be on the way. Dark applying a lot of pressure. Solar, he did cut saturation here at the natural, but he's still making a couple of drones. Bailing's welding in. Bailings, they are going to be welding above Roaches. They force them back. Roach production already commencing here for Solar. Does force back the army. Oof. Now, bearing in mind, Solar, he's kind of puffing up his chest here. He's revealing these Roaches. That is true. But he's droning. He's droning behind this. He's not going to be committing. You can see here, Solar, he pulls back. He pulls back, he forces Dark to overreact. Dark, he makes roaches. He doesn't drone, which means Solar takes the economic advantage. Again, this is a big part of ZVZ, just trying to fake out your opponent, pretend like you're pushing when you're not, pull back, and you drone. It's a really interesting dynamic. The big reason why this is so prevalent is because of the Overlord. Because of these Overlords, you see everything. You have map, like full map vision right now, which is why you can kind of use that to fake your opponent out at times. You can use that vision against your opponent. Speaking of vision, Dark comes in for a scout, confirms the gases, is now aware that Solar has been droning, and Dark immediately makes a wave of workers and tries to catch up in gas. Now Dark is one step behind. You can see that Solar, he's up oh my god, he's almost up 20 drones. Jesus. That's just how greedy Solar was behind this and how much he's gotten away with as well. He's being even greedier though. Despite being up in workers, he has not had enough. He's going for a Spire behind this as well. That feels like a bit much, but we'll see if he can get away with it. Meanwhile, Dark is building up his own Roach army as well. He's down 10 workers. So Dark is down to the economy, but he's going to be up in the army supply, up heavily in army supply. And if Solar waits too long, if he tries to be too greedy and banks up gases and minerals for mutas, then he could die here and now. Yeah, this is going to be a scary moment for him. As we have some spine crawlers on the way to help defend. We have a decent amount of roaches here. I do appreciate that Solar, he's actually committing to roach production. It looks like the Spire, it's only going to be for a handful of mutas. I'm talking like 6 mutas-ish, just for map control. So thankfully, Solar, he isn't doubling down on muta production. And there it is, 6 mutas are on the way. They will be gaining that map control, shutting down Overlords, threatening bases. 6 mutas can one-shot drones. But here comes Dark, and Dark does have the Roach lead. Dark is pushing. Dancing with the army. Mutas, they've been revealed. Oh, we gotta commit. We gotta go in. The mutas have arrived, and Dark, he has to try to commit here, pushing towards that third base. But we have a massive wall of roaches. Dark being forced back to Miles. Oh, will not connect. But he is breaking through the ground army. Dark, he has a bit too much. He's breaking through the roaches, getting into the mineral line as well. Drones are going down. But he will eventually be cleaned up by the mutas. It's going to be so close. These roaches, they're so low. GG gets called. Solar, he defends. He cleans up the roach army, maintains his lead. And Solar will take game number 1. GG. Yeah, Dark was very all in with that push. He was so committed. He had to end the game then and there. He was killing some drones. I mean, credit where credit is due. Like Dark, he was killing workers, and it looked like he almost had enough, but alas, it was a big investment, a big loss there for Dark. And Solar is able to take a lead in this series. GG. And again, even though the mutas did win the game for Solar, really what won the game for Solar there was his posturing. Solar, he was able to, in one swift move, fake out a push, drone up heavily, get like 20 workers on top of his opponent. I want to say it was like an 18 worker lead at a time, and rush into mutas. Like, it was very greedy, very risky, but paid off. Did pay off in the end. The mind games, fighting the mind games. And Dark was left behind. And now we're getting into game 2. We'll see if we can fight back. We'll see if we can force the ace match. Personally, I hope so. I hope we can get a game 3. Hope we can go all the way and go the distance. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Is what I'm hoping for. Getting into this and spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have the red Zerg player representing Dragon. God, I almost did it again. I saw myself this time. Representing himself, currently teamless, no longer on CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing on side. It is Solar. go. Again, Solar, this is also like how he beats Serral as well, is Solar's just so good at mind games, so good at faking aggression, feigning aggression, or even committing to aggression when you think he might be faking you out, and that's where the strengths of Solar lie in this ZVZ matchup. We'll see if Dark can recover. Now, we spoke a little bit about this map earlier. We spoke about Side Delta and how this is a map where you can adjust your play and go for different openers. Now, it is going to be a hatch gas pool from both players, but the reason why I bring up Side Delta is because it is one of the few maps in the map pool with a ramp leading into the natural. Because of this, the defender's advantage is quite high. It's quite high here, and we have seen a lot of players go for two-base play on Side Delta as a result. Two-base play is viable, but alas, we're not seeing any delayed gases. We're seeing hatch gas pool openers. This should be standard, should be a macro game, or a standard game for the time being. Nothing too out of the norm. I'm catching up the chat. I don't bet often. I wait for that one moment to lose everything. Crazy. 33k on Dark. Aye. Let's go. Let us go. So Overlords are moving out. And again, I'm hoping that we can at least get all the way to game number 3. For now, though, things are going to be moving out across the map, going to be scouting each other. Both players confirm the hatch first. Both players confirm that nothing is really too odd and too weird as we do move out. Oh my god. As we have a little bit of a skirmish here between the Lings. Dark coming out worse for wear, though. Oh, Solar, he does want that Ling. He wants it. Oh. So close. Behind this, third bases are being taken from both Dark and Solar. No one is skipping their bathing nest. Bathing nests are on the way. And we are easing into the mid game once again. For the time being. We do see Dark making a wave of Lings, actually. Does make a wave of an extra wave of Lings behind this. Looking to be the aggressor. 12 Lings in production. And we'll see if we can make something work here. Lings are fanning out. Dark could be pushing. Now, Solar does have defensive Banelings back at home, so even though Dark has a Ling lead, it's not the biggest of deals here. Solar can still surmount that, surpass that. So the Lings are going to be pushing on forward here. Banelings are on the way. Very aggressive moves here from Dark. Likewise, there are 2 Banelings to defend for Solar. 6 more Lings on the way. Dark, he's committing. Dark, he is committing here to the Ling Flood. Solar does confirm more Lings on the way. I don't know if 2 Banelings are enough. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's going to be enough here for Solar. He's being zoned away from his third base. Drone almost goes down. This Dark, he is rallying across the map. Behind this, we have a Roach Warren. Dark still not droning. Neither is Solar. He did squeeze out an extra drone, but we can get away with that. It's okay. We can get away with that as the space takes some more hits. Ooh, as the Banelings get baited out. No, sure, the Banelings are baited out there by Dark. Rough trade. Banelings rolling in. Oof, oh my god. Decent connection there from Dark as he does waddle into the bases here. Roaches to come out just in time, and Solar, he is defending. Whew, he does hold. Solar holds. Dark squeezes out a couple of workers. Still a very tense moment here for our players. Oof. As again, Dark does bleed out another Bailing. Much better connection this time, though. Big connection on the Lings, and Solar, he is pushing. He's going for his own all-in. As I say all-in, he's still droning up. He's taking up his ult. Gases are on the way. Lair is on the way. This is what I mean. Solar, he is pushing, but he's expanding behind it. Transitioning behind that as a massive Ling flood comes forward. The boys are being pulled. And Solar, he's racing back home. Remember, Solar, he was droning up. He doesn't have any reinforcements, and he's in a lot of trouble. Dark, he's snowballing out of control. Busts into the main base. Drones are falling. They have to fight. No. They have to fight, and 10, 11 drones go down. Can we get 12? We can. 12 workers fall. Lair is cancelled. We're all in. This time, we actually are all in at this point. There is no droning back from this for Solar. But again, he just can't even push. Cannot push forward here. Dark just having his way with this army. Ling's coming to buffer. GG gets called, and Dark will tap the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. We are going all the way. GG. GG, well played. Again, that Ling run by was insane. Up until that point, Solo wasn't looking too bad. He was up in workers. He was faking out a push. Things were looking pretty solid for Solar, but alas, the wall was not a wall. The Ling run by got out of control. And with that, we're going to game 3. All the way. All the way to game number 3. Gonna be on Hecate. Let's go. Let's go. We'll see if I can survive until the end of this series. I'm out of water. I have a couple of drops left. I need to hydrate my Hydra, Bob. Here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate. We have our red Zerg player, currently teamless. Currently does represent himself, but he does have the series 1-1. He does force the ace match. It is Dark. Ooh, going for a 12 pool. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. Oh my god, going for a 15-15. A very safe opener from our blue Zerg player representing on side. It is Solar. And I have to give the edge to Solar here, as he's going for a 15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool, which means faster Lings, faster Queens, delayed gas. We don't need gas, not against a 12 pool. But how hard is Dark going to commit here? That's the real question. So we have our spawning pool about to finish up. We're banking up Lings here. Now, there are different variations of 12 pool. There's the 12 pool drone pool, which is an all-in, where you pull the boys. Or you can just expand. It looks like we are just expanding here. Okay, so it's going to be a macro variation of a 12 pool, thankfully for Dark. But again, I don't see this doing too much damage. This shouldn't deal too much damage, because back at home, Solar already has his spawning pool on the way. Lings are moving out, and the Overlord will catch wind of this, will confirm the Lings of Dark. Solar, he's fully aware. Is fully aware what's going on. Now, the way this works is that, one, Solar, his goal is to save his base. The base cannot die, so he has to save the base. Likewise, he has to preserve his drones. To save the base, he has to pull the boys. Spawning pool finishes, Lings are on the way, Queens are on the way as well. And we'll most likely have to pull some of these workers to preserve the low ground. And there it is, drones, they have arrived. Gonna be dancing with these Lings. Oh. We don't want to overcommit. See if one drone goes down. Good pick off. Good pick off there by Dark. Solo was a little bit late there to pull away. Likewise, this is dealing some economic damage here, forcing a lot of delayed mining. He's being forced back. The Queen does arrive. Try to go for this around here. And it looks like we will get the Queen, but we lose every single link of the process. And just like that, Solar, he does defend. Does lose the Queen, though. That was a pretty big pick-off. Is that enough, though? That's the question. Solar, he's ahead in economy. He's ahead in workers. But Dark skips it, or he delayed his gas. He delayed his gas, so he has better mineral income. Things are still pretty close between our players. They are close between our players here, as Dark should be walling off. Now, with a 12 pool opener, usually this leads into a 2-base roach. So we should be walling off here on 2 bases. Solar checking here, making sure that Lings do not get away. Ling Scout is denied. And Solar is investing into Ling speed. Here we go as Dark. He's going for a Link Flood. Let's go. Okay, so 12 pools, they traditionally lead into 2-base Roach, which is what Dark is revealing right now. He's walling off on 2 bases. This should be Lair Tech. This should be Roach Tech. Link Speed is typically skipped, but we're getting into Link Speed, which means it's a Link Flood. It's an all-in. Dark is going all-in with pure Ling, and the reason why this works is because Solar knows that this should be 2-base Roach, so he skips the Baleen Nest. There's no reason to get a Baleen Nest because his opponent should not be making anything other than Roaches. He shouldn't be making Lings. So Solar, he can be caught off guard. This can snowball out of control. Without any Banelings, Dark can kill Solar. I believe Dark should at least kill the 3rd. Solar can defend his natural though. He can, if he scouts this in time, he can fully wall off. He can try to prepare with Roaches defensively, and he can survive. And here we go. We pull the trigger. Solar sees. He knows. He scouts. He's getting ready. And here we go. He's fully walling off here at his natural. Big scout here for Solar. We did mention this because he saw it coming ahead of time. He has time to prepare. This should not kill Solar. It will kill the 3rd though. The wall hasn't spotted. Dark, he does go for that 3rd base. At the same time, he's going for the Roach Warren. Roach Warren is going to try to be focused down, but Roaches have arrived. Solar is going to be able to hold on to his natural. He goes for this round. Dark, he does commit. Collapses on these Roaches. Gets one. Gets one Roach for so many Lings and no shot. No, he doesn't get the base. He does not get the hatchery. Ay. Committed too hard. And again, Solar, he defends, he deflects, and he takes a series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, that Link Flood was meant to end the game. And again, very important that Solar scouted. That Solar, he saw it coming ahead of time. He was able to fully wall off, get into Roaches. He may not have Banelings. He may not have had Banelings, but it did not even matter. And Dark didn't even get the 3rd base there either. If you can kill the 3rd base, you can try to drone out of it, but you're still behind when it comes to the overall army, the overall Roach count, and it's still a difficult position to be in. GG, well played. Congratulations to Solar, as he will be advancing on to the grand finals. GG, well played. GG. And with that, we have our 2 finalists. We have Solar advancing on to the grand finals from the upper half of the bracket, and we have his opponent Cure advancing on from the lower half of the bracket off of a bunch of TVTs. Cure took down Gumiho to advance on, which means we have our finals confirmed. It is going to be a Terran versus Protoss matchup, a best of 5 between Cure and Solar. And vetoes are going to be underway. Vetoes are underway here. Oh, sorry, my apologies. We'll have to reset the score. The vetoes are underway to determine who is going to be our champion here this week. Who will be our ESL Open Cup Asia reigning champion. Here to find out. Again, my condolences to Dark. It was a really risky play, really risky build. Again, scouting is paramount when it comes to all-ins, and Solar had plenty of time to react, and Dark had no other transition out of that. Congratulations. We're going to be going in a short break. I need some water. Going to be going in a short break, and when we return, we'll have our final series of this broadcast. Not of the night, though, because we have another tournament coming up next. We'll get into that a little bit later. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, those grand finales of ESL Open Cup Asia number 212. We have our two finalists, and if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets on how you believe this series will unfold. Best of luck. You have a couple of minutes upon hearing this message to place your bets. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Onside. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left, going for a proxy. We have, and also in the top left, I guess, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Liquid, going for a proxy 3 racks. It is Pure. Here we go. The 3 racks is upon us, and we'll see if Solar can respond. We have seen Solar die to proxy 2 and 3 racks in the past. We've seen that occur. We've seen that unfold. I'm a little bit concerned here, but we'll see how Solar can piece this together. Now, a couple of things. One, overlords are moving out. First one is across the map. Second one should be doubling back here. We're checking the linear location initially for proxies. This overlord should be doubling back here outside the natural. If it doesn't double back, then we won't have vision for the bunker. There we go. Okay, it is going to be pulling back here just in time to get eyes on the bunkers. Now, usually when you go for a proxy 3 racks, you want to hide the third SCV. You want to keep this third SCV a little bit further back and make it look like you're going for a proxy 2 racks. The reason for this is you want to force your opponent to pull the boys. Typically against a 2 racks, you pull the boys, you save your natural, and you fight for control of the low ground. There it is. Boys are being pulled. 2 SCVs have been revealed. Third SCV has now been shown here to the Overlord, and Marines are massive. We do get us around here on the bunker. Bunker is surrounded. SCV is going to be going down. The first one, at least, we do get surrounded on the Marines. Up! The first Marine does get surrounded, but the others, they just stutter step their hearts out here, and so many drones are going to be going down, but we do manage to collapse on top of some of them. But not enough. Not enough here. 4 drones go down. Most of them do survive, though, and we do get a decent amount of links. We force a cancel on the bunker. And the links, they have made it. But is this still too much here? Again, we've bled out a lot of drones already. Marine count getting higher. With 2 queens, though, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. We have 2 queens. Solar, we're holding. We bled out quite a bit, but we have been able to just survive long enough to get these queens. And back at home, Kira's transitioning. He knows he cannot end the game, not anymore. And we are transitioning here with a CC on the low ground. Rack's going to be floating. Overlord is going to be shut down. Ooh, we do supply block Solar. Solar, he is supply blocked. Spine Crawler on the way. About to finish up. And overall, just really good movement out of Solar. His ability to surround those Marines was really paramount as well. As I say that, Queen has to be careful to overextend. So you have to be careful. Behind this, additional Marines are in production. Link speed halfway done. Link speed was delayed because of the proxy, but now we are getting back into it. As again, Solo still has to be very careful with how he does control this army. Doesn't want to throw anything away. Oh! Ooh, yeah, we do commit a little bit further here. Looks like the Spine Crawler is going to be able to go down. Just barely does fall. But we bleed out a lot of Marines. We get a Queen, but is this worth it? We barely have any Marines left. We're barely breaking through. Barely. Oof. As looking at the trades here, 15 Marines for 17 Lings. Ling speed is now done. Very delicate dance for Cure. Remember, behind this, he has very little to defend. He did delay his factory. It was a greedy transition here. CC first, before the factory of a proxy Rax. As I do see Solo getting ready for a surround, coming in from behind. Lings, they have been spotted. We shave off a couple of them. Good positioning here from Cure. As the third base is now being taken. Oh, the Queens get caught out. But who catches who here? Because we lose one Queen, but we get a collapse on these Marines. A good stutter stepping out of Cure, but he will be losing everything here across the map. The Lings, they all go down. The production is compromised, and back at home, we don't have the natural. Not anymore. We're stuck on one base. Third CC's on the way, and Cure is looking to turtle on up. Try to macro out of this. Oh boy. We will try to macro out of this here. Rax is going to be floating back. We have one Hellion to defend. Second Hellion on the way. Let's go. Second Hellion here on the way. As this is a pretty greedy follow-up as well. We're going double eBay behind this. Overlord confirms everything, by the way. The Overlord does get eyes on the third CC. Double eBay does get eyes on the Banshee alongside Cloak being researched as well. So Solo, he's able to get eyes on everything he needs to. He can respond back at home. He can respond, and we should soon be seeing those Spore Crawlers. Again, we're going to be cutting it close. Solo's just droning on up on 3 bases, getting double Evo chamber, and extending his lead. And Solo does have a lead. Like, it's impressive that Cure has been able to get his natural up and running, that's true, but again, it's been a rocky road getting here for Cure. Solar, soon to be taking a 4th base. There are those Spore Crawls that we spoke about, 1 in each mineral line. 1-1, of course, being researched as well. Oh. And we are soon to be good to go. Now, Solar isn't going to be pushing in anytime soon. Solar basically ideally wants to wait for the 3rd base to be taken and for Cure to expose himself. Despite the fact that Cure, he may still be on the road to recovery, like his army is still quite efficient, and we don't want to throw away too much here trying to force the issue at the natural base. We don't want to throw away our lead. So the game is going to be settling down. Solo being a little bit greedy here, he throws in a Hydrogen. This is really early. I mean, early in the grand scheme of things, just because we don't really have much of an army to sustain. But Cure is macroing, so we know that we can get away with this. Solo, he knows he can be greedy. If he wants to, he can even throw down Infestation Bits. We can throw down the pits, go for a fast hive, get into fast adrenal, fast vipers. It's all available. Which is why like Kira's in a really rough position here. Like he's droning up, like he's making workers, that's true. But there's just so much more that he's lacking. He has no presence on the map. He's got these 2 banshees, but that's it. As I say, that does get a couple of workers. 6 drones go down for 1 banshee. 7 drones for 2 banshees. That's an okay trade, but I'm sure Kira would have liked to have kept them alive. And here we go. The medevacs have finally hit the field. Kira is being active. Going for a double drop. It's heavily delayed because of the overall game state, but it's on the way nonetheless. So we are moving out. Moving out here. Rain's gonna be started stepping forward. Good trades here against the Lings. Very nice trade there from Cure. Ludwine will borrow. Oh my! Ooh, big connection. Once again, trades very nicely against a lot of these Lings here. Very efficient trades from Cure. Very efficient trades. Gonna be reinforcing. More medevacs on the way. 4th base being taken behind this. Very fast 4th here from Cure as well. To have 1 more Widow Mine. Cure, he isn't back in this yet. He's still at a deficit. But, again, they come back. It can happen. Oh. Soul pushes in. A decent mine connection here as well. Not amazing though, as we are going to be pushing on forward. We do catch some of these reinforcements. Yeah, the Banians, they will connect at the same time though. Cure pushing on the right hand side. He's going to get a kill on this base. Hatchery's going to be going down. And meanwhile, Solar, can we get into a mineral line? We kind of can. SCVs are going down. But the Hatchery does fall at the same time on the left hand side. Looks like Solar, he's in position. He does defend. He holds on to his 4th. That is going to be 18 SCVs going down. Oh my god. Again, Cure, he wasn't doing too badly here, but the failed proxy 3 racks was just too much to overcome. And we get 22 workers. Yeah, just a big blow to the economy of Cure, an economy that was barely there to begin with. Cure, he's not going to be getting back into this anytime soon. Solar, he's almost about to max out. He's in control of this game. We got 2-2 about to finish up. Lurker Den on the way. Hive is done. And Cure is pretty committed. He's very committed here. We need to push in. We need to trade. Trade, or I mean, ideally we want to catch a mineral line, get another base kill. But alas, behind this, Solar, he's maxed out. He's maxed out at this point. Lingbane Hydra, 200 supply. Adrenal's on the way. The Lurker Hive upgrades as well. As long as Solar doesn't give Cure time, he should be able to shut this down. Just has to make sure. Just has to make sure he doesn't rest on his laurels. Macho going to be going up. Gets dragged away. Does get dragged away. That's Cure's pushing towards the left. Solar going to be committing. Pulls back with some of his army. Ooh, and this space is going to be denied. But at the same time, Solar, he doesn't care. He does move out across the map. Oh, he's getting caught out though. Expensive losses here for Solar. Does bleed out Banelings and some Hydras. Yeah, Hydra's going to be going down. Curious catching up. The reality is that Curious slowly catching up, but oh god! Oh, it takes a big Banelings to the face. The Banelings, they connect. At the same time, Cure pushing on the right hand side does find another hatchery. Containing Solar to 5 bases. That's still 5 bases. Oh, who is it?
Game
Is it me?
paused.
I'm good. No, Coca! Not like this. That was a big lag spike though. Here we go, we're getting back into this. My shot is avoided. Shout out to Coca, of course, our lovely French caster. Hopefully Coca can join us in the next game and resolve his internet issues as we do get on top of... Again, we're doing a great job at denying the fifth. Denying the sixth base over and over again, but the fifth is still up and running. Solar is still maxed out. Match just going to be going up. Ooh, we forced some friendly fire. At the same time, we do have a big link counterattack running into an army though. Cure, he holds onto his third. This time he does defend, but what about the drop? Ooh. A couple of Medivacs will fall. Planetary, it's up, but it's looking quite exposed. Yeah, we can go right for it. Get into middle line. 5 SCVs go down. The Planetary is what we connect with the Marines. And Curie just can't catch a break. It looks like he may kill a base, but he's losing so much more. Base is going to be going down. We get into the middle line. Another middle line goes down. GG gets called, and Solar will take game number 1. GG. Cure forced to tap out again. A rough start. The Epoxy 3-Axe had potential, but didn't do enough damage, and the transition there from Cure was just really shaky. He was being as greedy as possible, but Solar, he was able to punish him, contain him, delay him, and Solar was in the driver's seat from almost the beginning. Basically, again, after the initial defense of that Proxy 3-Axe, Solar was looking solid. It was looking good. Was looking good, and now here we go. We're getting ready for game number 2. Getting ready for game 2 here. It's going to be on Solaris. Let's go. Now, I don't really know if game 1 really is too indicative of anything. Yes, Solar did take game 1, but Cure was playing from behind the entire time. he was just playing from behind because of the failed proxy. So I don't know how much we can really judge Cure for that, just because it was a difficult position to be in for anyone. Now we're getting into game 2, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing a much more comfortable Cure. I'm sure. I hope so. As we are getting ready for this. Getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris, we have our blue Zerg player representing onside, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Oh boy. And I don't know why, but I'm so tired. I guess it's been a long weekend. It's been a long week in general. But I do have to wake up. After this, I may make some coffee. After this event. For those that are curious, in 35 minutes, not a lot of time actually, but in 35 minutes, OSC King of the Hill will be beginning. OSC King of the Hill will be upon us, and we'll be covering it here on the CranKy Ducklings. It is your King of the Hill style tournament, best of ones, non-stop best of one action right after ESL Open Cup Asia. So we will get into that. And hopefully I can make some coffee in time. To stay awake. Again, I had a nap before this cast, but it was like a 2-hour nap. Clearly, I needed more. Clearly. As for now, standard opener. Racks expand here at a Cure. No crazy proxy shenanigans. Not this time. It's just going to be a standard opener. Likewise, Solo going for a hatch gas pool. Standard opener from our Zerg player as well. Here we go. we will be settling on into this. We do see Solo opening up with his Lings, making an extra Ling actually, which is interesting. Instead of going for the standard 4, make 6. Reaper dips in. The dance has begun between the Reaper and the Lings. We shouldn't be losing much here. We shouldn't be losing any Lings or drones, but the Reaper does go for the dive. Gets a drone! Oh my god. Very greedy there out of Cure, but he does get away with it. Gets one worker. He wants a tumor. Up! Does want that tumor, and he gets it! No shot. 1 HP, 1 shot away from going down. Cure flexing his micro. Gets a drone, barely gets a tumor. A very high value Reaper. Very nicely done. Behind this, Solar, he's just droning up, taking his 3rd as well, but again, these are losses that should not be happening this early on. Rough moment there for Solar as he takes another tumor. Oh, he wants it! Oh, won't get it this time. Cure will not get the tumor this time, as that is a very safe placement there of the creep tumor. Barely spreading creep, but it's up and running at least. Yeah, this, we have 3cc into 111. Very fast 3rd CC here, very economic follow-up here out of Cure. Going for the add-on swap, but going for, I imagine, Cloak Banshees. Banshees are on the way. We'll see if we invest into Cloak or not. As we tried it in the last game, but wasn't quite able to make use of it. Too much. So it was scouted. Well, Helion's going to be rotating over, denying any kind of mining there at the 3rd base. Denying any mining, just rotating over, keeping Solar in check. So far, Solar is able to keep up. I know this story. I understand, Bobby. I understand. It's okay. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. We'll be good. As behind this, we are just, again, getting into our 3-1-1 setup. Standard setup overall. The Overlord is coming in for a scout, and Solar, he will get eyes on the 1-1-1, I believe. Oh, it's going to be close. But he does confirm the starport. He confirms the tech lab, as well as Cloak on the way. So big scout there from Solar. Immediately, Spore Crawlers are being thrown down. They're about to finish up momentarily. We are set up for the Banshees. We are going to be set up for it. At the same time, we do see Cure just positioned outside the bases, ready for a dive, and of course soon getting into his drop play. Clerk has completed. 2nd Banshee moving out. Cure has quite a lot to work with. He's got a marauding force of Hellions. He's got Banshees threatening the mineral lines. We are soon to commit. There we go, the Banshees. They do threaten the mineral line. They drag the Queens here towards the right-hand side, which does create an opening for these Hellions. But that's a lot of links. So they don't go for the dive. They want to, though. They want the dive. As they get eyes on the would-be 5th. And yeah, we do see just Cure testing the waters, containing his opponent, building up that bio army. Medevacs are now in production after the add-on swap. And we're just, easing our way into the mid-game. Nothing too crazy. Fast Hydrogen once again out of Solar. Interesting. Ooh, we do lose a Queen. Banshees, they did come together with the Hellions. And another Queen is going to be going down. Oh, just barely doesn't. Whew. Just barely does survive. As the Lings, they chase down these Hellions. Brutal trades, though. The Lings, they get roasted. They did take down 2 Hellions. But that was 11 Lings. 11 Lings, sorry, for 1 Hellion and 1 Reaper. Not the best trade from Cure. And, sorry, from Solar. And here comes a push, as Cure is moving out. He's got 2 tanks. 2 tanks with his army. He has Stim. No combat shields yet, but 1-1 is going to be finishing up in a couple of seconds. There's a big upgrade timing here for Cure, and his goal to deny the hatchery. Shut it down. tank is going to be rolling on forward. Marines, they stim on forward as well. We do have our queens in position. Means they are in position. Solar going for a Ling Bane counter attack. Oh, he's coming in for a surround. The surround is being set up. We are in position. Uh-oh, and Cure, has he overstayed his welcome? He's chipping away at that base, but again, Solar is going to collapse. And he will collapse on this. He dodges off the tanks. The Marines will evacuate, but every single tank goes down. The Hellbats as well. A big cleanup. Cure does drop into the main, but that is only 2 medvacs full of Marines. More medvacs on the way. We are going to be swatting this away here, and Solo doesn't take any economic damage. We're on 83 drones. We have our 4 bases. We have a 5th on the way. And Cure needs to stop this. Well, he's trying to, I should say. He's trying to pull Solar apart with a very aggressive style. Go for a split push. Triple drop towards the south. Double drop towards the north. Solar, he isn't in position. We should be able to get the mineral line. Uh-oh. Yeah, drone's going to be going down. We got 4. Do you get full workers? Ling's going to be rushing on forward here. Show us the widow mines. Decent connections. Decent connections with those widow mines. At the same time, Marines, they push forward towards the north, but we have Ling Bane in position. We have plenty here. Really nice target firing there at Akira. Dancing with the army, playing with fire, but oh no! Sometimes when you play with fire, you get burned as a medevac goes down. Thankfully, it was an empty medevac. Ooh. Decent mine shot. Decent mine shot does go off. Banshees, they're still alive. I honestly forgot about them, but they're still marauding in between the bases. Still dipping in between. This push here towards the north, gaining a little bit more value here. The mine shot, big connection. Big connection on the Lings. Cure, he's gaining ground. He's getting a lot of ground behind this. His 4th base is up and running, 5th base is on the way. His macro is insane. And Cure, likewise, similar to Solar, has maxed out. He has maxed out. Solar is out of position. Base is going to be falling. Solar is being pulled apart right now by the mass Marine Widowmine. Okay, not the most complex army, but very efficient. Mine's just going to be going down. 5th base being rebuilt, again, at the same time as Cure's 5th. As Cure has the economic lead. He's down in workers, but he has mules, and again, he has his 5th on the way. Solar is struggling. Does catch a couple of Marines. Nice shot does go up. Cure, he's committing a little bit more here towards that northern push as well. Only a handful of Ling Bane here to defend. It looks like Soul's main attention is towards the south instead. And Solar's trying to work towards Lurkers. Lurkers are a great way to hold on, to slow the game down, to wall up, to turtle. We're getting there. Good mine shot. Good mine shot does connect. As we dance with the army. Oh, this time we force some friendly fire on the Marines. Marines taking a lot of damage there, forcing it back. Now, throughout all of this, Cure, he's been refining his army. He's been very active with Marine Widowmine and does escape. But now he's refining his army with Liberators. We have Ghosts, more Widowmines on the way. Vehicle plating upgrades. And there are the additional starports. This is what we've been waiting for. Fusion Core is not for BCs, unfortunately. It's going to be for Liberator range, and Mass Ghost Lib is going to be the composition for Cure. It's basically the anti-Lurker army, as Lurkers have been revealed. Solar, he's holding on with his Lurkers. Cure, responding to them. It's going to be rotating around. Secure doing a great job here, just maintaining map control as well, cleaning up a lot of this creep. Solar, he's at almost the halfway mark here with said creep, but so much of it is receding. Might just be borrowing. No big connections. Now Solar, he now has his lurker upgrades, and how many lurkers do we have? That's the big question. They're mainly here in the center of the map. Only 6 lurkers. What you see is what you get.